Good evening. Welcome to Soundtracks with Birdman. Tonight, Houston Symphony Star Wars concert live from Houston, Texas with Erik Woods, sound engraver, joining us later. We are trying to sort out how to get this link posted in the chat, so just bear with us. It doesn't start for another 14 minutes, so we should be good. In the meantime, how are you, Mr. Erik?
I'm okay. I'm trying to get over this cold, so if I cough a few times, I apologize. But I'm excited about this. The prospects of hearing Rogue One and Solo in concert is pretty awesome. So, yeah.
What do you think they're going to play tonight?
Oh, I think it's a typical normal suite that they always play. So the typical concert suites that you get from Star Wars and Empire and Return of the Jedi. I think you'll have the 3 or 4 main concert works from Phantom Menace. You'll have Across the Stars from Episode 2, Battle of the Heroes from 3. You'll have either they play the concert suites from The Force Awakens, or they just go right to the end title, which I would actually prefer. They'll play the Rebellion is Reborn from Last Jedi. They'll play one of the 2 concert works from The Rise of Skywalker. What I do hope is they play all the suites from Giacchino's Rogue One, especially the Guardians of the Wills, which I think is just superb. And then I'd hope that they play something from Powell from Solo, and not just John Williams's concert suite. Just the theme from Solo. So I hope we hear a little bit more than just the theme, but who knows? But that's where I think it kind of goes. It's pretty typical for Star Wars concerts.
You think they'll play the Imperial March?
Oh, hell yeah. If they don't, it's an encore.
Okay.
Or they'll play the Cantina Band as an encore.
Hey, David, I just emailed you the link for the show. Can you copy and paste it into the chat? Eric's not having any luck with it, neither am I.
Were you able to change the description of the video?
No.
Okay. I'm wondering if I can augment the link.
Wait, maybe
YouTube.
Is this working?
Then you go .com and just replace the YouTube.
I think I might have just gotten it.
Oh, there it was.
All right, people in chat land, tell me if that worked.
Maybe you couldn't do it when it wasn't live. Who knows? I'm gonna try it on my end. Yeah, that works.
It works?
Yep. Cool. Your video is off, by the way.
Yeah, I know, because my phone's in position. I didn't think anyone wanted to see up my nose. Or I could be wrong. Maybe that's what YouTube strongly desires. Yes, all right. Woo. Crisis averted. So, Erik and I are going to go see Field of Dreams next May in Chicago.
Yes, we are.
And then Back to the Future in June.
Maybe not Back to the Future, but I know Field of Dreams for sure. I would love to go to Back to the Future.
I thought this was done deal.
No. I said Field of Dreams was a done deal.
Okay, well, in my mind, I heard that in Field of Dreams and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Elf.
Yeah, no. Field of Dreams is. I wonder, is Nicholas Buck conducting Back to the Future as well?
No, I think David Newman is.
Oh, okay. Well, because that's the reason we're going to Field of Dreams, because we have a bit of a in with the conductor, so we'll hopefully get to see the rehearsals, go behind the scenes, and see all that awesome stuff. So,
oh, Oh, big news! Big news! Guess who's starting medical school this fall?
One of your dogs?
No, like for legit. Guess who's starting medical school? Someone you know.
Really?
Yes,
Medical school.
medical school.
Just a broad medical school, or
Like to be a doctor,
really?
an MD doctor.
All right. Cool.
You're
When's
supposed to
this?
guess.
Who? It's got to be somebody young.
You don't have to be young to go to medical school, but you know that's okay.
So is who? I don't know who.
Who's your favorite New Yorker?
My favorite New York.
Who's also a bartender in Chicago? Who could whip both of our asses?
Oh, I forgot her name.
Veronica.
Her name. What's her
Veronica.
name? Veronica. Right. Is she still bartending in Chicago?
Yep.
Wow.
Starting medical school this fall.
Good for her.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Where's she going?
Someplace in Chicago.
Oh.
They got a college up there, I hear. So
Cool. Good for her.
and
man.
the link is working for everybody. Just to
YouTube won't let me add it for some reason.
maybe because you're not a moderator, which I thought you were.
No. Like David says, he's having YouTube. Oh,
YouTube wouldn't let him add the link.
okay, whatever.
Well, they've got 45 people waiting for the show to start.
It's not bad. Hey, be nice in the chat, huh?
Me, I was nice last time.
Were you?
I was.
Wait. Was that was Christmas, right?
Christmas, like retro. I thought Retro Reels was having more sass than I was.
But what was the concert that you got kicked out of?
That was the Christmas concert.
It was the Christmas concert.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Be nice.
Yes.
Be nice. I mean, it's tough to get disappointed with a Star Wars concert. I'd be disappointed if they're playing anything else, like all that other stuff that I don't care about. So,
yeah. See, Big Al was able to do it because he's got a wrench next to his name.
oh, I see those wrench people.
Those wrenchers.
Look at me! Look how many wrenches you have. Giving everybody a wrench.
I don't seem to be able to do it anymore. Hello, Zootopia. How are you? Zootopia has a wrench as well.
What?
I don't know why you don't. This just boggles my mind. Okay, Skirwingle doesn't have a. It used to, you would just like touch their name and you could. I don't know how to give people wrenches anymore. I don't know. Blah blah blah. I can't talk tonight. Skirwingle, do you want to get in on this lovely chat? I can send you the StreamYard link. Ian will not be joining us. He said he had to go to bed. I'm like, I understand.
It'd be nice to see him again.
Would.
Yeah.
I invited Miss 80s and my so-called Gen X Live and Retro Reels and someone else, but Sword in the Pen. I asked her to come. She's sick. She can't even talk right now.
Yes.
Yes. David, Ian's here in spirit, regardless that this is true.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was so close to getting him White Fang today off eBay, the Entrada 2 disc set.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it stayed at like $25 to like the last 30 seconds, and it went boop, 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 boop. $100. And I was like,
Oh my God, really went up that high?
yeah.
Is your big project finished? I'm never finished my big projects. Never. Never. I still have, I mean, if we're talking about the big project that I had, which was the RCAF thing, I still have 5 to 6 more videos to go on those. But I just finished a big project yesterday, so I'm kind of mellowed out this weekend, which is great, because usually I'm just stressed about what's going to happen next week. But finished what I need to be finished, having a great long weekend. Yeah, the RCAF stuff is still, we've got another one going up next week or the week after, which I finished a long time ago. And then we have to jump back into the other, like, I think it's 4 or 5 that we have to do. And they're going to be good. They're going to be good ones, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So, but they're fun. And I really like the way they turned out. So,
Well, I just sent you the link. You don't have to turn on the video if you don't want to. If you want to hop in, you're more than welcome. And Sound Engraver is adding.
Hello, how are you guys doing today?
You're on the air. Don't say anything foul.
I will not.
Okay.
I think I have my gain up all the way. Am I too loud?
No, you sound
No,
good.
you're fine.
Okay, good. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I might be sounding a little strange right now because I had a really spicy dinner.
Okay.
So I feel a little phlegmy, but I'll clear up soon. You said the link was in your chat, correct?
In the chat, yes.
That's on. Okay, let me go on YouTube real quick.
You can do it in the private chat. Right here.
Oh, it's in the private chat?
Yeah, I put it in.
Oh, yeah, I see it. I see it. Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you. This is
welcome.
exciting.
Yeah.
You know, I got a
Wow,
quick
nice.
story for you, Miss Sound Engraver.
Sure.
I was on Kickstarter earlier today, which is just like the Great Satan. You know, it's the new Satan.
Mhm.
And Kevin J. Anderson is printing like 7 volumes of unpublished short stories. Wow, that's so cool. And then I thought, you know what? I bet Professor Keek would like a copy of those. You know, and I clicked on the campaign. I'm just like, oh Lord, all 7 copies. But the ebooks is like very affordable. And I sent him a message. I'm like, so what are your thoughts on ebooks? And he's like, why? Why are you asking? I'm like, no reason.
So, which of the books is Kevin J. Anderson responsible for? I'm blanking.
He's a very prolific sci-fi writer. He did a lot of Star Wars books.
Yeah, I forgot which
He's
ones.
written some Dune books, a lot of
Okay.
the Kevin J. Anderson books. Are we starting?
Are we starting?
And everyone, I hope you enjoy the show. Remember, be professional and courteous in the chat.
Yeah,
No one
that's
gets
right.
banned tonight. I'm looking at you, Erik Woods.
I'm a good
Oh,
boy.
sorry, guys. Yeah, no, that's that's actually how I remember the Houston concert last time.
It is my highlight on this
You
whole
got
entire channel. You got to, did you clip it? You should clip it
Oh my gosh,
and
that
put it on because it's legendary.
you really should.
Yeah.
It was funny.
It was funny.
When I called to buy the pass, it's a new person now. That old person apparently he left under not too good terms. But she was like, "Who are you?" And she's like, "Let me look you up in the computer." And I'm like, "Oh Lord."
no.
And she's like, "Are you still at?" And she said my address. I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." And like, "And this is your email address?" I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." And she's like, "I thought, God, please don't have a note in here." But it seemed to go okay, I guess. So.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Oh, we're adding someone from far away. Hello. Hello.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Hi there.
Oh,
There you
now I
go.
can.
Look out. It's danger. Sorry, did you just, oh, he left.
Did he?
He dropped out by accident.
He'll be back.
Actually, who is it? I didn't.
Skirwingle.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar. It's been Birdman. It's been a while since you've done videos, right? Like sometimes I look.
It has.
Okay.
I've had a lot going on this year.
I'm sorry.
It started out with COVID, then it was an ice storm, then it was Arizona, then it was the stage cancer, and now here we are. So
When you say it was
Sorry.
Arizona, it's like the whole entire state's fault for what happened.
But you're all dressed up. I'm sorry. I'm not. I just came back from mass, and so I am not dressed up. That's why I'm not on the camera.
you don't strike me as a cutoff and tank top person for church, but maybe you are. You know.
Well, I should dress up a little bit better at church. I wore jeans tonight. That was probably not the best. Sometimes I wear slacks.
I remember when I went to church every week, I would always go in full Highland dress. I missed that. Yes.
They probably would appreciate that. Maybe.
I always had an Irish priest, and I was never quite sure how he felt about me. If he was like,
yeah.
But the old ladies would always come up and be like, "I have a granddaughter." I'm like, that's nice.
That's awesome. We haven't started yet, right? It's still.
Concert hasn't started, no.
Oh, okay. How are you, Erik? What's you been up to?
Just getting over a cold. Another one. It's like the second one in 3 weeks, but also just stupid busy with tons of work. But it's fun work. It's doing a lot of stuff with the Royal Canadian Air Force.
Oh man.
And doing a lot of helicopter videos now.
Oh,
we went down to Florida in, when did we go? April, March? Well, I don't know. And we visited Orlando and Miami for a week. No, sorry, for 2 weeks.
Nice.
And got to fly with Advent Health, which is the kind of big I don't know how you call it, because we have free healthcare here. So it's like one of the big companies that owns half the hospitals in the state. And so they took us on flights around Orlando and then into Kennedy Space Center.
Wow.
And we got clearance. Cool. Like we had to actually call them up and go, we need clearance to fly over the runway where the space shuttle used to land. So it was really odd. And they have a space shuttle, like right kind of beside the land runway.
Is it started? I had to refresh my page.
Right. Yeah, it started. I just had to turn my volume down. Intrigue of James Bond. It welcomes Broadway.
Right, sorry about that, guys.
That's all right.
I was dealing with my orange juice spillage, which really did go everywhere.
Is y'all stream like pausing?
Yeah, mine is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering too. It sounds quite quiet. Is it quiet on your end?
Yeah, I've had to launch my volume up pretty high, and it's kind of glitching, right?
Tiny bit, yeah.
Stop buffering! You know what I don't see right out of the gate? I don't see a chorus.
Oh. Well, what if it comes in the next half?
If they bring them out during the prequels.
How many people are watching? I don't.
Their stream,
Yeah.
171.
Wow. There we go. All right, I just chatted. It went through.
Greetings from Huntsville, Alla. You can't say Alla.
Alabama.
You can't say that. They're
Oh no. We're ready for this.
it's begun.
Hello, Ghost Planet. How are you?
Hey, Ghost Planet. Good to see you. Just for the record, I might not be able to chat with you guys, like as far as the actual chat. My computer's not letting me.
Okay.
That's okay because I can talk.
Oh. If I commented the chit chat is strong with this one,
I'm just waiting for you to complain about the choir.
Mm.
That's gonna go over really, really well.
Glad it's Yoda and not Baby Yoda.
his name is Grogu.
Mm-mm.
I can feel your presence.
Star Wars joke.
Is it? It's what, 2 a.m. for you?
You're
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Oh wait, are you there?
Who, me?
No. Daniel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was just me. I apologize.
What are they going to open up with?
20th Century Fox fanfare.
Ooh,
As
that
a
would
vi-
be nice.
As a violinist, you never ever want to be the last person to be tuning. It's always a fear.
Oh, Big Al's trying to start a fight.
Are you? What are you doing? All right, here we go.
Wow, could his
Thanks,
pants
Al.
be any tighter?
Are they going episodes 1 through till 9?
Okay.
Although the concert
Well-
for the flag parade's friggin' amazing.
I did not expect a flag parade.
Yeah, it's one of the concert suites. It's that Duel of the Fates, Anakin's theme, and then the Adventures of Jar Jar are the 4 from Phantom Menace. Have you heard this version?
I have not.
Oh, it's awesome. I wish it was on the album. Empty seats. Boo. It's a tad slow. Just a tad.
178 people watching. No fucking shit.
That's funny.
Bro. Is this gonna come full circle?
Boom.
Oh,
It's 5 minutes in, man. 5 minutes.
man.
I'm sure. I wonder if people were in there were like, I thought this was Star Wars. I thought this was a Star Wars concert.
I have to say, I love that paneling in the back. That is a great red,
Yeah.
orange.
Oh, Al's got the set list.
Does he?
Why do some of these musicians like? Why do they
Oh, they're
look
doing the
bored?
suite from Rise of Skywalker. That's awesome. But the anthem of evil needs choir.
Hello, film scores. How are you? Black Hawk Down. Yes, yes, and yes. That's probably one of the better compilation albums from Hans Zimmer ever. An expanded score from La La Land would be very much appreciated. But yes, yes, and yes, all the way around to Black Hawk Down. Okay, so if we're getting across the stars now, we're not getting anything else from Phantom Menace, are we?
Encores.
We know the story.
Is that what he's doing? He's telling us the story?
Yes. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, Luke and Leia. No Duel of Fates. Be kind. Simmer down. Simmer down.
Hey, I'm laughing in a concert hall. I do love this piece though a lot.
Oh, this is gorgeous.
I do
Yeah.
too. But I mean, Duel of Fates would have been nice.
Well, Duel of Fates is also, it's introduced in the third film, right, or the third episode?
That's
Maybe
Battle
so.
of the Heroes.
Oh,
No,
you're
no, but it's
No,
in
no,
the
I-
third film as
it-
well,
it's
and it's in
both.
this film as well too.
it's
It gets
gorgeous.
quoted.
Yeah, and although he
gorgeous.
says he's doing the films in chronological order, I'm not necessarily sure that he's doing the bits from within the films in chronological order. Maybe?
I don't know. It's confusing. Sorry, you said you have a set list?
Yeah. Let me sign out and look at it. Hang on.
Oh no. You have to do that
Across
one.
the Stars is hands down one of the prettiest melodies.
Oh, it's lovely. It's very much rooted. If you heard Jane Eyre,
I was going to say that. Yeah, they're very
Yeah,
closely related, aren't they?
yeah, they
that's
are.
true.
But he's taking this at a real lethargic pace.
I think that has to do with the arrangement. This might be the original arrangement of the suite. I don't know. I'm not as well versed as you. And Birdman.
I was
Yeah,
going to say
But
it's kind of.
It's more like a lullaby.
Drink.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, actually, I like this pace for something like the oboe. But you're right. With strings, it is a little on the slower side.
Yeah. Oh.
Needs a little bit more ump to it.
Yeah.
You're right. I think the instrumentation, not instrumentation, it does sound thin. Now it could be the volume because my volume's low and I don't know why. There's one violinist, she's looking at that and saying, "Are we going faster? Huh? Huh?"
I mean, the basses are coming through. Those plucked basses.
This part sounds very 1930s, 1940s. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
But this is where it, dun, 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 it's supposed to be a lot quicker.
Maybe they just had a concert of another program and they're just kind of, okay, guys, we'll take it slow from here.
They can still save it. Come on. Put it in gear.
Now, what do you think, Birdman? With what do you think of the brass? So far what I could hear, it's pretty good.
They're okay. They're just not. They're not there for this. It's like I just woke up for a nap. Let me play this. No.
I
Stop.
had that same experience with the Raleigh Symphony a few years ago. Like they're wanting to go for drinks right after or something.
Oh, you missed it. It's okay. Stay positive. You know. I will say that John Williams Tokyo concert, Eric, I am so glad you and I did not go to that.
You didn't like it?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that.
No.
What didn't you like about it?
Everything.
Okay.
Just curious, is Big Al Presents comment the most recent chat comment of this?
That's like the last one I see. Have I been banned already?
No, that's the last one I see too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a while for the page to refresh, but it's the last one I see as well.
Yeah. Good job, Al.
I made them all speechless.
Ah, my favorite instrument next to violin.
It's lovely.
Cor anglais.
Can you play anything besides the violin?
I know a little piano. And I teach piano up to the, second or third year student. But besides that, Big Al says, I made them all speechless.
Y'all don't need to clap that much. That wasn't that good.
Oh, so it's one piece per episode?
No, not when we get to the sequels. It's not.
Yeah.
I see. There we go.
But no choir.
How?
Oh.
How?
Oh, you're right. Oh, how's that going to work?
It won't.
Horrible?
I've not.
I've heard it before
heard this
without
way
choir. It's kind of empty.
Oh no. Well, okay,
The
I'm
whole
gonna.
point of this piece.
I've got.
To hear the
something.
choir sing the first.
Okay. I am about to get banned from the chat.
Don't.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Daniel. Please. Just remember, next concert's gonna be better. Yeah, that. You can't do it without choir.
We're all
It's
singing
not
it
the
in
s-
our head.
It's a beautiful piece of music.
Yeah.
And if this were a Tchaikovsky symphony, it would work, but not the things that we know. Someone is mad. Oh. Well, D Pinsec just did it.
Well done. Well played.
What happened?
D Pinsec commented.
He's getting. Oh, we're getting in there.
It's the choir.
Here we go.
Oh.
So he's not wrong. I mean, I know you got to pay a lot of people to show up to do that, but
Well, again, the symphony, these players play very well and professionally. But if you can't accommodate for what everyone knows to be the case, then you probably should skip it.
I mean, I'm trying to think of any other like.
You ready? You ready?
Imagine doing Beethoven's Ninth in concert and saying, "Guess what? Guess what's not showing up? The chorus."
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm hitting send. Y'all ready?
Be nice. Oh,
You
man.
did not do. You did not.
Careful.
Don't send it. Don't send it.
Maybe
Daniel.
You don't even know what I said.
Maybe you should let us know what you're saying first.
Yeah, put it in our chat first so we can copy it.
Without the chorus, it's like dating a redhead. Black's soul.
Bye bye.
No.
Hope you enjoyed being in the chat. So long.
No.
What?
See you later. You're out. Get out.
Oh, jeez. I'm so glad
I
I'm
don't
not
know
in the chat.
how else can I word that.
Just disappointed that the choir isn't here.
Just say something diplomatic. Just something
Okay, if you
tactful.
can't play it right, don't play it at all.
Oh. They're doing fine for what they have.
It's true.
This is a major symphony orchestra in America. They have money.
Well, as long as you don't put that in the chat.
That's because they were begging for money before the show.
Oh.
I don't know. I just like disappointed that the choir isn't here. Is kind of gets a.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, we
Right.
understand how you're feeling.
What if they? Okay, Daniel, think about this. What
Mhm.
if they
What
come
if?
back for an encore and they
Mhm.
do bring on the choir,
Ooh.
and then you'd be all sad for what you said?
It's like finding out your blonde-headed girlfriend's really a redhead. She still doesn't have a soul.
Oh my god!
What is it with you and redheads?
I have nothing against redheads. It's just a trope, you know. It's just, you know.
No.
My
Cheers.
sister has red hair. I mean, you know. My grandfather had red hair.
Yeah,
You know
mine
who else
too.
has red hair?
You what?
Ant-Man. You know who else who has red hair?
Ant-Man has red hair. That's
Yeah,
true.
that's-
That's true.
Well, if we're doing story chronology, shouldn't this one have been first?
The solos between.
No.
How-
Yeah, okay.
No.
I never saw Solo.
Oh, you might hear fireworks, so I apologize for that. Now you should put I missed the choir in this one. Actually, you should just say I missed the choir in every single track, okay? So David
I missed the spoon solo.
Oh man. Yeah, no, this is my first time hearing the soundtrack for Solo.
Oh really?
Yeah, I never
Oh.
saw the film, so
It's wicked. The score's
The-
amazing.
the
And
score?
the film is it's like a kind of a traditional Star Wars adventure. Two great action set pieces in it. Lando, the guy who plays Lando, I forgot his name, is
Glover, I think.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy and Aaron Aldrich does his best as Han. And I think there's
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
I
it's a
heard
lot
his
of fun.
performance of Solo was really good.
How many mugs do you have to buy to get a choir in this performance?
Thank you, David Pinsack. You are my spirit animal from this day forward.
That's brilliant.
So he's posted. I'm not seeing it in the chat yet. Oh, I see. Over here, right now.
Well, I will say I'm glad I didn't fly out to Houston to see this concert.
Hmm.
You know, Daniel, you're pretty amazing like that because you travel. Most people travel for a destination with the anticipation like something's already going to be good. Seeing a relative, seeing an old friend. But it's like a crapshoot with you, man. It's like sometimes you fly to Washington, D.C. and you're
Oh,
so
God.
mad.
Oh, Lord. Eric taught me how to sing John Williams in October because I was like, let's go to Chicago again. He's like, well, that German bitch is going to be there. And first half is her piece. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're right.
I don't think Eric said that. I think
Well, I mean, he said it in Canadian, you know.
Everyone's favorite German. That's what we call her.
Your praise for it.
You know, originally I was going to be in Maryland tonight seeing Mary Fowl.
Mm.
Oh, well, so was it worth staying home and hanging out with us?
Well, cancer changed all my travel plans. So,
Oh, sorry, I can barely hear you guys. I hope I didn't hear that. What did you say?
I said cancer changed all my plans for the year.
Oh, dang, I didn't know about that, Daniel.
I think you need to clarify for her.
Olive had mast cell tumor. I found it February 15th. She died 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
But I spent through just over $6,000 in 2 months. So
I am so sorry.
Yeah.
I got to go through financial recovery.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't regret the money I spent. I do it all over again. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
that said, I had the worst. I had the worst case she's ever seen. So
Wow.
it was
I'm sorry.
it was not a good situation.
Mm. I'm kind of ambivalent about Rogue One. I don't hate it. I don't like it. Well,
I love Rogue One. It's like Empire Strikes Back, Rogue One. Y'all, please don't
I
fuck this up.
appreciated. I did appreciate a lot about that movie, but I can't remember the soundtrack. Horrible. Maybe I'm not a Star Wars fan.
It's just, this is a poor man's Imperial March. I just wish they didn't play this.
That is
A
I
poor
could say
man's
that.
Imperial March.
I mean, it's good, but God, they could have played the other two, and
Yeah.
it would have been
All right.
the whole suite. And I mean, the Guardians of the Wills. Oh, it just melts me. Knock this out of the park. Hi, puppy. Come here. Come on. Come here. Yes, hello.
I was really hoping to hear the asteroid feel tonight, but I think I'm okay without. It's like, you know, that part in A Few Good Men where they're like, if you think you can get it, then go for it. If you think you can't, don't, you know, and they look at Tom Cruise and they're like, don't do it. Don't do it. You know, I'm like, kind of like how I am right now. Like, don't try it. Just, you know, just don't try it.
Oh, I wish I could. How do I download this program? Oh, man.
Thanks for stopping by, Big Al. Have a good evening.
Bye, Big Al. Hopefully you have a wonderful
See you later.
stream.
Oh, my. Yeah, this is a weird program. What the heck is Ray and Ben?
Is that part of the set list?
So that's
set list
the
tree?
so the suite from Rise of Skywalker. That's so they're gonna have some of the Sith, which is the anthem of evil, but you need the choir with that. Then the speeder chase, which is good. What's Ray and Ben? I don't know what that is. And then there's the Rise of Skywalker concert suite. So 16 minutes long. But yeah, it's kind of not the way I'd program this thing.
Yay. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't around. I wish I was. I'm kind of sad.
Well, then you would be older than you are.
But then I would have lived through that. I wish I experienced that.
Yeah, I mean, I was 5. I don't think I saw it. I certainly didn't see it at the cinema the first time.
Oh man, I'm jealous.
Yeah, I was 1.
I was 3.
If you did see it, you wouldn't remember. No, quite.
You know, but I did see the first time I went to the theater was Return of the Jedi, which was amazing.
I never saw Star Wars in theaters.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to. If you
Yeah.
get a chance to,
Yeah.
you gotta.
That'd be nice if they did well, maybe they have. I know they've been doing the re-releasing of Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
which is cool.
I wish I could remember what the first film I saw was. Oh, I really can't.
I can't even.
I know. I went with my dad to see Clash of the Titans, which
Oh wow!
which was an unusual thing because he didn't go to the movies much.
And let me preface that. I'm not sure if I said Return of the Jedi was the first film I ever saw in a theater. I'd seen movies before that.
Yeah.
So that was it was a big old theater in Toronto. It's not around anymore, but
I love Leia's theme.
It was a 2-story beast of a theater.
Big Al was the best age. He was 12.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
I mean,
Big Al has a birthday
that's
tonight.
interesting because there's your life before Star Wars and then life after Star Wars. It's never the same.
You know, Sound Engraver, if I had to choose a piece of music for you, it would be Princess Leia's theme.
Oh, that speaks volumes because I'm so in love with this theme. The way Williams carries the phrase of this melody is really, it's exquisite, but it's also so unique. It's not what you would think to end a melody, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's a really good way.
Gerwinkle, what piece of Star Wars music are you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm with you on missing the asteroid field.
The which one?
Asteroid field.
Asteroid Field. Okay. Eric, what piece of music are you think?
Like the best represent me?
Yeah.
Is there a theme for that bald guy in Empire Strikes Back?
Lobot?
You know, the robotic dude.
Yeah, I think he had like a little motif going on.
No, I mean, I don't know what theme would like best represent me.
No, me neither.
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
I'll go with
Someone
Binary
would have to
Concept
pick it
me.
for me. I couldn't do it myself.
Battle of Hoth. The whole thing.
Holy smokes! Wow.
Yeah.
That's complicated. Makes sense.
So are you.
Which version of the Jedi end credits would you go for?
Sorry, what was that?
Jedi end credits. Which version?
The Jedi end credits?
You know, the Ewok celebration stuff. The original.
Oh, the OG.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, well, whether you'd like Yub Nub or Victory Celebration?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a Yub
Yub
Nub
Nub.
guy
Yub Nub.
all the way through.
Maybe they'll play that tonight without the Ewoks.
Oh, that's great.
I appreciate the Yum Nub, but I do like that that flute melody of the redone music.
Yeah, well, I like them both, which is why I've got to ask the question.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they're both fine.
It's a divisive thing, but I know.
Look, I got me an Ewok right here.
Was that from like the animated series?
No, that's a Wampa.
That's a Wampa.
Oh, okay, Wampa. Okay,
It's a Wampa.
okay. Wasn't sure. It looks short from the camera.
And then I got me a Han Solo.
Nice. Wait, no.
You know, you're in a window that's about 3/4 of an inch wide, so
It's
Pretty
Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones in tuxedo with a M60 machine gun.
nice.
I think this was the best piece they've done all night. So
Yeah.
good show.
the pacing's right for this one at least.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Oh,
If
nice.
there's one you want to take kind of at a more mellow pace, it's this one.
Yes.
That's really good.
Yep, you're right. That and the Han and Leia theme. Not Han and Leia, Luke and Leia theme.
Yeah.
Are we getting that?
Mm-hmm.
After the
They should try doing this one without brass.
There we go. Oh,
We decided not to pay the brass players, but they brought in the chorus. Imagine that. We're at the chorus and no brass.
Yeah, David, they should have started with this.
Yes,
yes. I
Absolutely.
agree. D Pensac.
Right.
That's
because it's overarching over all 9 of them, and it's
exactly.
like, well, why would you
Well,
not start with this?
I mean, it also, you cannot hear this once and not feel inspired. Like,
Right.
who doesn't feel happy when they hear this?
Yep.
So I was at a film music concert in the Royal Albert Hall one year, way up high. The row that I was in was almost empty, but further along from me there was a youngish couple, and you could tell that of the two of them, she was the film music fan, and he was the going along, brought along for company. And the conductor announced that now we're going to do, main theme from Star Wars by John Williams, and she just kind of sat forward and a big cheesy grin across her face and started sort of just clapping. It's like, hey!
Nice.
I think that's
That's
exactly
wonderful.
what I did when Williams pulled out the Raiders March in Chicago.
Yeah.
What did you and I high five over? Was that it?
That was it.
That was it. Such nerds. But yep.
Has anyone else ordered the Sony Classical Star Wars Trilogy LP?
Nah.
Not me.
Are those the re-releases?
First time on vinyl ever. With the Skywalker Symphony?
Oh, that no. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. I'm lukewarm on that one.
Look at you commenting a really nice comment there, Birdman.
That was
Try to be
good.
fair,
Yeah.
Great. It was good.
Either kind of, that was good, because some of the others weren't kind of so That's what you were aiming for, wasn't it?
Maybe. I was trying to be diplomatic.
That's right.
That's fair. That's
It
fair.
could be read however you like, can't it?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, this would have been a perfect beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm sure when people heard the flag parade, they're like, what? Are we at the right concert?
I love that John Williams concert they did like 2 years ago. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. You're okay. You're okay. It's just a couple fireworks.
I just want to comment. The concertmaster, his left hand is really good. Very good left hand form. A lot of people who do vibrato, like wide vibratos, they have their first finger up. And that's not the best technique. Even though Itzhak Perlman does that.
I mean, so far the performance has been pretty flawless.
Yeah, that was a really good sound.
Yeah.
See, that's oh, sorry. I just totally blew into the mic. Sorry. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Oh, well, don't put that in the comments. Don't put that in the comments.
Don't do that. Okay.
should I list the albums alphabetically or chronologically?
Ah, yes, Daniel Heron. What was your email again? Oh, you. Me, pick me.
Is he going to carry on saying, "Oh, do we have any X fans?" when he moves on to the sequel trilogy?
Actually, my sister went to one of these concerts just like 2 weeks ago, and she said it was really good.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah. Heck yes.
Eric, can they play the entire Empire Strikes Back where I would be happy?
What do you mean?
Where I don't walk out and want to burn the building to the ground, you know?
When I saw Empire, the Toronto Symphony, they raised the roof, man. They were so good. And they just Superman was the last one I saw, and they were phenomenal as well. The biggest problem though I have with the Toronto Symphony Orchestra is that the screen is like right on top of the conductor, so the sound gets muffled, so you really can't, so it feels like the trumpets are soft and the horns are soft, but besides that, they if you have a really solid orchestra, I mean, think about the 20 minutes that they have to play of the Battle of Hoth and the asteroid field. If they can get through that, then you're fine for the rest of the ride. But there's a ton of crazy music they had to play in those 20 minutes.
But do you think these cats are going to do it where I'm going to be happy?
I think they're really good. I think they're really good. I would go see it.
Well, of course, David, the Cincinnati Symphony did a good job. They're the Cincinnati Symphony. I wouldn't expect anything less from them. I'm kind of on the fence with these people. I'm like, I got one good memory. I got one abortion of a Christmas concert, and I'm kind of like,
but did they
perform
the music, even though you might have hated the selections? How was the performance? Because I think they are pretty spot on. Like, we were quite impressed with that John Williams concert that they did.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of sustaining that insane energy.
Princess Leia's theme's been good. Yoda's theme's been good. Everything else, I just kind of like take it or leave it. I don't know why you would play Duel of the Fates without a chorus. Whoever thought that up should be fired, and then impaled on something that's not very sharp.
But they played it well, though.
I can't think of it as well without the chorus.
I think the decision of not having the chorus it would be something different than the actual performance itself, because I think what they had to perform, they did well. So I think that's what you have to evaluate going into Empire. I think they'll do a great job. I think they will do a great job.
I would love to see Empire in a symphony hall. I remember, what was it? It was the year of COVID. They were going to do that at Boston, and I was like, yeah, I have my tickets for like every fucking show. And then of course it got canceled.
Right.
That was the best season ever at the Boston Pops, and it never happened. Everything that year was just like, yes, yeah, I was gonna be so broke. He's selling bone marrow on the side of the street, but everything was just like so great. And it never happened. And since then it's just been kind of like, why am I even a patron anymore?
Yeah, let's see what they do with the Imperial March.
That was a good Yoda's thing.
Yep. Let's see if they got the energy for this one.
Yeah.
I do see a lot of energy with one of the percussionists, the older man with the gray hair. He looks like he's into it.
Oh, the snare?
Yeah, the snare.
Yeah, he's dialed in.
Yeah, he's dialed in, exactly.
This is sounding fine so far.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they're good. I'm always impressed with the sound, that the recording that they get from this.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really good.
It's very crisp.
Crisp, yeah.
You can hear the dynamics between brass and strings and winds.
Like there's just a right enough amount of like reverb, but it's not swallowing.
No.
The kind of oh, I don't know. I forgot the word now.
I mean, this would be a great recording on its own.
Yeah.
In between applause and all that. The only thing is my stream is quite low. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, Depends X has good acoustics and the mic placement for that.
What's the best recording of the Imperial March?
Utah Symphony.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the best Star Wars recording, I think. It's my favorite Star Wars recording. Those 80s Utah Symphony recordings are insane. How good they are. Yeah, these guys are solid. I mean, they haven't played anything overly complex. I think if you want to hear what maybe their action performances are like, the Force Battle will be the thing you want to hear, Daniel. But this is great. That's a great performance.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I expect too much from music.
Yeah, for all you know, Daniel, these musicians could have pneumonia and they could be just playing as best as they can. Oh gosh, my mic, sorry. Gotta turn this game down. I have played with the flu before. It stinks. But I'm sure they're all well.
Intermission. All right.
Yeah, so I mean, the set list is a little odd, but I mean, there's a lot of music you got to get through. It's just interesting they went with the flag parade for episode 1, although if they're doing an encore, no doubt Duel of Fates is going to be your encore. And probably the Cantina Band.
Or what about, well, this wouldn't work without the choir, but Battle of the Heroes? That can't work without the chorus, can it?
Well, we heard it.
Was that the one?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I keep getting them confused. Actually, I always get those two confused, and I think it's because in the movie it syncs up. The two tracks sync up.
Yeah.
One after another.
Yep, that's right.
Does doubling up on a certain section of the orchestra equal a better performance? Sound engraver, you're the professional.
Well, I haven't played an orchestra in about 12 years. Doubling up on certain sections of the orchestra equal a better performance. It depends on the type of music. So definitely yes for something like Wagner, or something like Richard Strauss or someone like that. For someone in the earlier classical period or even the late Baroque period or getting into Mozart, probably not. Like a Haydn symphony. Haydn worked with when halls were in the shape of like shoe boxes, and it didn't really take much to execute a good sound. For someone like John Williams, I would say I kind of think John Williams is the modern day Wagner in one way. And so, but why do you ask, D. Pensac?
I know when they did Conan, Basil Padoris blew the French horn section out for that orchestra. He had 24 French horns or something like that.
Yeah.
And that entire score just had so much power and drive behind it.
It's like Herman had a ridiculous brass section and horn section for one of his scores. And also he had 3 or 4 harps on another score. What was the name of that one? Oh man, it's on one of the Gerhardt recordings and my brain's not working. Citizen Kane. So, Beneath the 12-Mile Reef. I think he had a whole pile of like at least 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 harps on that one. But then what was the score that had about 12 French horns? 8 or 12 French horns? Man, what was that one? I can't recall. If they are going to do Binary Sunset, they would have to play the Throne Room concert version of the Throne Room because that's in there. But they won't do it on its own. And right now, according to the set list, that's not going to happen.
Yes, Birdman likes his brass. That's true.
Yeah, what's that Harmon score that had a whole pile of horns?
I would say that the Imperial March here was a very good performance. I was expecting a little bit more bite from the brass and I got a sense that they could do it, but I had also a sense that they were holding back too.
It's possible.
Yeah, just by a little bit. But then again, my gain or my volume rather is on the low end. But I was trying to hear it. Actually, I'm going to step away for a second.
All right.
Tom Curtin.
Sorry?
Eric, trying to remember Herman score with lots of horns. Tom Curtin, perhaps?
That's one. Yeah, I think it was for one of the Hitchcocks. And you might be right. Yeah, because there's an absurd amount of. Torn Curtain.
Is everyone enjoying the concert? Everyone glad they came? Comments, feedback? I always do these hoping that, everyone has a good time. So y'all, just ignore me being a grumpy pants.
Yeah, it's worth getting up in the middle of the night for. I mean, I'm guessing that by the time it finishes, it's like I'm not going to get much sleep before I have to get up again. But at least it's Sunday.
Okay, so it was Torn Curtain, but it was 18 French horns. Sorry, not 18. I can't even read. It's 16 French horns.
Yeah.
12 flutes, all doubled on piccolo, alto, and bass flute. 9 trombones, 2 tuba, and 2 sets of timpani with 8 cellos and 8 basses.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
That's unreal. Wow.
Do you have to work tomorrow?
Who?
You.
No, not till Monday.
Okay.
And these days I'm working from home anyway, so.
Well, thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a shame Ian couldn't come along. But,
So, Empire. I'm sorry?
How is he these days? Do you know you're in regular contact with him?
Ian? He's. Allison's back in the hospital, so he's there most all the time. I got a message from him right before the show. He said he just got in from the hospital. He's going to bed, sleep a few hours, and go back. So I said, well, if you get a chance, listen to the concert. Everyone's thinking about you. So.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah. I
Yeah, I
miss him.
saw he commented on my Facebook post a couple of hours ago. So.
February 21st and 22nd is Empire. Who's in? Let's go. Make it happen.
I think I got it. It's just an hour down the road. I think they're playing Empire with TSO again. I'm not going to go, but they're also doing. Are they doing Pirates of the Caribbean? Toronto Symphony. I know they're doing a Hans Zimmer night. Let's see.
I was tempted because he's touring this year, and I was tempted to go, but I think it's just gonna be more of a rock concert, and I'm probably not gonna like it that much. And
Zimmer, yeah, it's a stadium show.
Yeah,
and it's massive. But the thing is, they're doing this. So this isn't like in conjunction with Hans Zimmer Live. This is just them doing. Well, they're doing Holtz the Planets. I might go see that. I haven't seen that live before. Encanto in concert. That's a no for me. Pops Goes to the Movies. The music of Hans Zimmer. Which, I mean, his music. The thing about his music, it doesn't really translate well over to just orchestra. It's really I mean, if listening to those Cincinnati Pops albums where they like a Zimmer tune will pop up, it's something's not right about them, no matter how well they're performed. I don't think that it works well with just the orchestra. So yeah, Empire Strikes Back is in May next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
I can probably come to that. I mean, if I got an invite.
Yeah, it's the 23rd, 24th, 25th. If you want to come down, absolutely. Please do. Let's do it. Yeah, let's go. You want to come?
Yeah. I should be able to get a passport by then.
Good. Let's do it. Yep. So when they go on sale, well, actually, are they on sale now? Not yet. When they go on sale, I'll try to
Let me know.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
What's the weather like in May?
Right now it's sticky hot. I'm sweating. But I'll tell you what the temperature is in Canadian. It's 16 right now.
So that's freezing.
Whatever that in American, I don't know. 16 C to Fahrenheit is 60. But we're hitting 27 tomorrow, which is 80.
Okay.
And that's usually what it's like around this weekend, but it usually gets rainy as well. But it's our May, they call it the May 2-4 weekend. It's Victoria Day weekend. It's basically the unofficial start to summer. So our weather is really, really nice now. So it's pleasant. You'll enjoy it. Cool at night, but hot during the day. But I'd love to have you. That'll be fun. We're not going to all 3 performances, though. Because I know it's something you would do.
Well, when you make a trip, you gotta go all the way. I mean,
when's Field of Dreams again?
May. Oh, first part of May.
Oh, all right. I think I'm driving down.
How far of a drive is that?
7 hours.
Oh,
to Chicago. Yeah, it's actually pretty close. I didn't realize that, but yeah, I think I might drive down instead of fly because to get cheap flights, there's always a connection either into Minnesota or New York, and I'd rather not do that. So, it's easier to get across the border.
I found a direct flight for you for Boston in August. Same.
I think we tried that. I think you tried to ask me about that one.
Yeah, and said I'm going on vacation with my family. Like, you see them every day.
I know. I know.
Have you ever been to Salem? Spooky town?
I've been to Boston I was in Boston for 19 hours.
I've done that before a couple
How
times.
long
Yeah.
ago was that? No, we were there. We were shooting a documentary. I think I might have told you this, but we were there in the afternoon. We shot the interview, went out for dinner, woke up, and then took off to Oklahoma and spent 3 days in Oklahoma. Then went out to BC. So, yeah, I would like to have stayed more in Boston, but we were supposed to go a couple of years ago when we went to Newfoundland. We were going to go through the States, then come up into Maine, cross the border and go to Newfoundland, but I forgot why we didn't do that. Oh, we had the dog. So, doing anything with the dog, it's impossible. So yeah, it's okay. I want to go in the fall though. I want to go to New England in the fall and take my wife. It's beautiful. I did it once and it was just gorgeous driving. Gorgeous. The colors were incredible.
Do you guys hear the Han and I keep saying Han, sorry. Luke and Leia theme? Do you hear the French horn?
Yeah, they're going to be playing that.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to know what the set list is?
Yeah.
So you got Luke and Leia's coming up first, then the Force Battle from Jedi. Then they head off to Force Awakens for Rey's theme and March of the Resistance. The Rebellion Reborn from The Last Jedi. And then they do the 16-minute Rise of Skywalker suite. And then... Sorry?
Why they're listing Luke and Leia and Forest Battle as from the Star Wars saga rather than saying...
Yeah, what is that? What's the Star Wars saga mean?
Yeah.
That is weird. Interesting. The Star Wars saga. Well, they have the Imperial March from Star Wars. Yoda's theme from Star Wars.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
That's so strange. I don't know. I would knock them off their seats with Force Battle first. Or Into the Trap. Imagine they were able to play that.
That would be nice. I'm happy with the Forest Battle. I haven't.
Yeah, see, I think it's difficult that if you want to play anything that's not kind of in the concert repertoire to play anything other than that music, because I'm not sure how much of that's available. Like if you wanted to play something different, like for instance, like is Jabba the Hutt's theme, like that would have been great.
There's a concert suite for that.
Yeah. So
I don't think it's been played in 30, 40 years.
but could you play like Darth Vader's death, or could you play...
You'd have to get permission from John Williams.
Yeah, like is that even in print besides as part of the live and concert series? Because it'd be great to hear something other than, or just like what they're doing with Rise of Skywalker, like a properly put together suite that, other than the end titles. I mean, I guess you could rework the end titles so you're not always hearing the Star Wars main theme at the top, or having it finished that way. But it'd be interesting to hear them as like proper kind of concert. I guess would you call them suites?
I would, yeah.
Like 10 minutes each, and you can interpolate so if you would hear Duel of the Fates and Anakin's theme like you do in the end credits for Phantom Menace. But it'd be great to hear more than just the love theme from Across the Star, from Attack of the Clones. Like to hear the arena would be great. Or
Slave Children's Crusade.
From what Star Wars movie is that one from?
Temple of Doom.
Then there's a concert suite for that. Actually, there's 2 versions of that.
Desert Chase.
So, but yeah, like that's exactly it. Like to hear kind of those, I don't know, more, I guess you could say film music cues, but it's, I don't know, how does that translate well to this kind of general audience? I mean, Williams's music would be no problem. I mean, they're going to play the speeder bike chase from Rise of Skywalker, but that has a kind of a natural flow to it with a nice little melody. But I still don't know what this Ben and Ray thing is. I'm going to go to the album and see if there's what track would that be? Is that when they're like, is that during their kiss and when he's dying in her arms?
Suppose it might be.
I never saw the movie.
You never saw the 9th one?
No,
Oh.
I walked out of the whatever the second one was, and I never went back.
It's a good comedy. Like, what? Farewell, the force is with you. No, approach the throne. Join me?
So the Nashville Symphony is doing ET next weekend.
E.T.'s great in concert as well.
If it's done competently.
I mean, all you're waiting for is escape, chase, and goodbye. Like, you just are just so ramped up for it, but
I know. And then if you fall on your face, I get so Hulk smash, you know.
Yeah, so the Toronto musicians did a great job with it. So, and there's not a whole bunch of complex music. I mean, there's not a lot throughout the rest of the
That Tokyo album from John Williams, they butchered ET. It was
Did they? I haven't listened to that one yet, and that was a unique suite.
I know, and I was so like, yes, far and away, good. ET, wow, I'm so excited for this, and I'm like, God,
Really?
like I just wanted to take. I'm like, no, I'm going to listen to the entire first CD. I'm going to listen to it all the way through, so I can say I did it, and I did it, and I took it out and I filed it away.
Sorry, they play the opening, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they play the opening chase music.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Stargazers, because Stargazers.
That's what they called it, at least. I mean,
yeah,
you know.
it's the 3 million light years away or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
That's rare to hear.
I
That's what
know.
I'm talking about. It's those cues that I would love to hear. And
That's why I was excited to get that album. I'm like, yes, wow, this is awesome.
well, I mean, we finally got a commercial release of the tributes concert work. And that's it. I mean, I think it's on one of the brass albums, but I mean, but we now have that commercially. I do wish they played the what's it called? The Wizards, whatever that suite is from The Prisoner of Azkaban. There's a concert suite from that. It's amazing, and I wish I could remember the name of it. Wizards.
Speaking about Harry Potter, I got you boxed up. I'll probably get you mailed out this week or next week.
Oh, no worries. Seriously, just
there's like, I think 11 CDs in that box, and a surprise.
Wow. Yeah, no rush.
Surprise that's not CD related.
Oh, okay. So the suite, if you get a chance to listen to it after this is done, listen to Witches, Wands, and Wizards. It's about 5.5 minutes long, and it's amazing. It's kind of a mix of I think it's the Quidditch third year stuff, and Romping Willows, and something else, but it's really a lot of fun. All right, here we go. I apologize for coughing in the mic. I try to mute as much as I can. I'm sorry about that.
You're fine.
I think this is an underrated theme.
Yes.
It only plays like 3 short times in the film, I think, itself.
Next to Leia's theme, this is really one of my favorite themes.
Because it's a love theme, but it's not a love theme. And that's what I love about it. I mean, admittedly, I'm not a fan of The Last Jedi, but when I heard this in Last Jedi, melted me. Absolutely melted me.
It angered me.
Oh, did it?
So bad. But I always think of this theme really with that like blue moonlit scene between brother and sister.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cellos. You just melt my heart.
What if I told you the Utah Symphony is doing a John Williams concert in August,
Utah Symphony?
August 8th
Wow.
at 7:30 p.m.? I'm gonna put all y'all down for this. Sound engraver, you can bring Professor Geek if you want to.
Are you talking about actual Utah?
Yeah, it's like this whole other state.
Yeah, my mom actually recently moved to Montana, which is a state I love.
What's the name of the film? The Star Wars saga. They're vicious warriors. All right. Pick up the pace. Let's go.
If y'all mess this up, you're dead to me.
Some of the audience was pleased.
You can definitely hear the Jerry Goldsmith in here a bit. Planet of the Apes. It sounds like there's a little bit of Planet of the Apes in here. those horns.
It's got a bit of oh goodness, Rite of Spring feel.
Mm.
Holy shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
What?
I just looked at the program for the Utah concert. They're doing Jane Eyre and the Accidental Tourist.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Now I can just imagine Daniel in person reading an upcoming program of someone else's concert at a concert.
David Newman's conducting. Oh my God. Holy crap. Jane Eyre and the Accidental Tourist and Far and Away.
All right, there you go.
E.T., Harry Potter, Hook, Jurassic Park, Raiders, Superman, Star Wars, Jane Eyre, Accidental Tourist, Far and Away. Oh my God.
Someone's going to Utah.
Damn straight.
Utah's a pretty state too.
It is.
I love that part of the country. Professor Geek has not been much further west of Pennsylvania. No,
Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
I'm sorry,
let's
not
go.
not Pennsylvania, but Kentucky.
Dude, hey, I'm serious. Do y'all want to go? I never got you anything for your wedding present. Do y'all want to go?
Aw, don't worry about it. When is the show?
That seems like an irrelevant question, but it's August 8th.
Oh.
Park City, Utah.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the offer. That's August is a pretty big month for the family over here.
How many people are we talking about?
Family who cannot travel. That's pretty good. The Ewoks,
It was all right.
I love the Ewok theme. It's great.
What's the next thing they're going to play?
The first 18 minutes
Right,
of screen
same.
time was wonderful. Yeah, she is.
And so are the screenwriters.
Supreme leader who was not so supreme.
Yeah.
I think this is a great, like, Smetana piece, or one of the Russian composers.
Mm.
I don't hear it in Star Wars. I hear this theme in Star Wars, but that intro does not sound like Star Wars. But I hear this part in Star Wars a little bit.
Yeah, I always figured that the intro bit, all that tweakling stuff, was just kind of her scavenger type material, just kind of an individual trying to live life on Jakku.
Yeah, I loved the opening of that film. And that's all I liked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I enjoy race theme. I like race theme a lot.
Yeah.
The intro it's a good intro, but it does sound more like East. Well, it sounds more European. Like it sounds like Harry Potter.
Sure.
But this I can hear being Star Wars. But I do appreciate John Williams just knowing how to work the symphony. Guys, we won't have one like him anymore.
Nope, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: all flights to Park City, Utah, suck.
Why?
Oh, fly out at 10:20 at night, get in at 6 o'clock in the morning the next day.
Yeah, and that's 6 o'clock Mountain Time.
Yeah. Fly out at 7 o'clock, get there at 4 a.m. Leave at 11 p.m., get in at 11 a.m. 6-hour layover in LAX. I'm like,
I was going to ask if it was a nonstop flight.
No.
That'd be easier if it was. Why don't you, Daniel? I know you have. Well, you do have commitments, but man, if you could ever drive to Utah, do it.
How long would that take?
Driving across country is like Utah is wonderful. From where you are?
Yeah.
Probably 15 hours. Come on.
I remember that time I drove back from New Haven in one day. I'm like, I'm never doing this again.
Oh. See, I love driving through those states. Especially places like Colorado.
They're saying 25 hours
To drive from where you are?
To drive. 1,700 miles.
Oh, come on. You could do that in 20 hours. It's so Beethoven. I love it.
I wonder what they're playing from Jane Eyre. I'm thinking probably to Thornfield.
I do see before he goes, if he's
complete suite.
I'll see you tomorrow, Ghost Planet, on my stream. I posted a stream. We talk about probably science fiction.
Yeah, thanks for coming by, Ghost Planet. I hope you enjoyed the concert. And it should be up for 24 hours if you want to come back to it.
Oh, I recognize that clarinet player from the Christmas concert. He did that really good clarinet solo. So good. I admire people who can really play wind instrument well. I feel like once you violin is really hard to play advanced music, but I feel like it's not on the level of a wind instrument in some ways.
David, no. As much as TFA seems like a retread of Star Wars, the music is so different than the original New Hope. I mean, you still have a plethora of themes, but the writing has definitely changed over the decades with Williams.
I was going to say the time that's passed, Williams' style and his preferences have changed a lot, haven't they, in that time?
Yeah, you'll hear it most notably in the action material. Like compare the Falcon escape music to any of the action material in A New Hope, and it's you'll hear that it's kind of has more of a rhythmic base to it rather than a more melody first feel to it. Still excellent. It's still really well done, but it's very different.
What do you guys think? Okay, what do you guys think of Göransson? Do you like Göransson?
No.
Ludwig?
Ludwig Göransson?
No.
I actually don't know how to pronounce his last name, to be honest. But
Ludwig Göransson.
Oh, Göransson. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I never knew how to pronounce his last name. Yeah.
I'm not. I like his. I like his Creed music. I like Black Panther.
Oh yeah, Black Panther. Okay.
I just don't like. I mean, I understand what they were trying. I don't understand it, but I do. I mean, they wanted to do something different with Star Wars, but it's just, it doesn't really work.
Yeah. If they keep him as a Star Wars composer, I know they're keeping Kevin Kiner, who's sounding a little more like Hans Zimmer electronic than he used to sound for his animated series.
He's really all over the place.
He's good. I like Kevin Kiner, but he can take it toward like the Blade Runner-esque feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, was it who did? I mean, is his name Joseph? No, who's Gronson's buddy who did Boba Fett?
Oh, I thought that was him.
No, it was. I don't want to say Joseph Shirley, but I could be wrong.
So, what do you think of the Boba Fett theme?
Oh, it's a total ripoff of some Swedish.
Oh, I saw that too.
Folk tune or something. Much like, I mean, yeah, Joe Shirley is like one of Goronson's boys.
Oh, okay. I don't know him,
but it's just, I don't know it. Yeah, I mean they've deviated away from the John Williams sound, and I mean with the exception of a couple of cues in the Osaka series, which there was actually some pretty solid action tracks that kind of had that Williams vibe to it, but that score was just so all over the place. And Britell's was like almost non-existent. I mean, the last guy I think that truly got it was John Powell, able to incorporate that John Williams template and then make it his own, but still make it sound like, you know, what you'd want out of a Star Wars score.
Oh, who
would you say you would like to hear if they carried on making extra? Someone
I got an
Chris
answer
Willis
for that.
or someone like that.
I got an answer for that. Jeremy Soule.
Or
actually, is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah, Soule. Yeah, Jeremy Soule he definitely can do that.
His work on the Knights of the Old Republic is very good.
Yeah, like Gordy Hobb can do John Williams in his sleep. Joe Kramer would be a choice. I think he'd be fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous. But you need somebody that's going to, again, take that. For me personally, I want that John Williams template, but you have to make it your own. You're working in that world, but then you have to you do have to make it your own.
I did think Kevin Kiner for a long time with the animated series did pretty well. It wasn't until season 7 where he got really very much Hans Zimmer Blade Runner.
Okay.
Just
because I remember listening to was it Rebels? No, or was it his first score to Clone? It was one of them where he was just like temp tracking from Star Wars, and he literally thought, he goes, "Oh, I thought that's what everybody wanted to hear, all that kind of music, that similar type of music." And it's like, no, we don't want to hear kind of like sad versions of like the originals.
Yeah.
But again, I think Powell's the one that really got it. I mean, Giacchino had to write a typical John Williams-esque score, and I got that. But it's Powell. It's like, I get it.
Was it
I understand what
Giacchino who did
template is.
Rogue One?
Sorry?
Was it Giacchino who did Rogue
Yeah,
One?
he did Rogue
Okay.
One.
Yeah.
And I mean, for what he did in the short amount of time that he had to work on it was solid. But Powell got it. He knew where to push it. And
Actually, forgive me. What did Powell compose?
Solo, A Star Wars Story.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, he knew when to incorporate those Star Wars moments and knew when to kind of pull on the heartstrings. But he wrote some wonderful additional themes and just some ferocious action material. Like Into the Maw is unreal. It's almost as if Elliot Goldenthal wrote it himself. It's crazy. Oh, so this is the suite. Okay, let's hear what. Yeah, it's tough to do the first piece without choir.
Done deal. I got my ticket.
That's good. And you're gonna be at your hotel and live stream the before and after?
Probably. It's $92 for the ticket. Actually an outside venue, but I can't get too picky. They're playing Jane Eyre.
I feel like an outside venue would be fun, given it's going to be dry heat. It's not going to be bad heat.
I mean, it's,
Just wear a sun cap and some sunglasses.
I'll be the only person there in a tuxedo, but I mean, that's fine,
Gross.
What happened?
Oh, this forced Kylo Ren Rey relationship.
Oh, yeah.
It's all very dramatic indeed. When she goes back and buries the legacy of Luke and Leia. Just like I said.
But that's not where the Rise of Skywalker suite is from. It's not. But anyway.
Yeah. That's exactly Deep Head Sack. That's how the Force works.
Yeah. This piece doesn't work without the choir. It doesn't.
Get ready.
So rental car is going to cost me under $100, and hotel's going to be about $350 for 2 nights.
$350.
That's not bad. Yeah, for 2 nights.
Oh, for 2 nights.
I'm gonna have to fly in on Wednesday because Thursday is not going to work. But I won't get there till like midnight. So
I'm glad. I mean, Utah, man, that's a wonderful place to go to.
Should I spend longer than just a day?
Yes, please. If you're in Utah, come on, you gotta stay. You gotta stay there longer. Utah's a beautiful state. Visit Wyoming, and well, then that's a lot of driving.
I mean, Alabama is known as the beautiful.
You know what's known as the beautiful? Butte, Montana.
That's true. Wow, I never thought I'd actually get to see Jane Eyre performed live in concert.
That's good.
This is great. I mean, like, wow.
That's awesome. I thought you had seen. I don't really keep tabs on what you've seen and not seen live. I didn't know you didn't see that one live.
I don't think John Williams has done Jane Eyre in concert since like the 80s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, is Professor Geek in the chat? Hello, good sir. How are you? Do you want to go to Utah? Shake your head, yes.
The live chat for the concert isn't very active, is it?
No, yeah.
I'm not really familiar with the set list. Is this toward the end of the show?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
this will be the last.
This is the last one?
Yeah, 16 minutes long. Once
This
it's
is-
done, and then it's encores, I guess, if they do encores.
They better do an encore. This doesn't seem like, it's kind of like a Tchaikovsky's symphony pathétique, where it's like it ends on a really grim.
Yeah, but actually doing a really good job with this.
Yeah, that's good.
It's slow though. It's really slow.
Okay, is this slow compared
Yeah.
to what you're used to
Duh,
hearing?
duh, 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 duh. Those triplets don't hit.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Wow. It does feel slow.
Yeah, it's very slow. I mean, it starts off slow, but then it's supposed to pick up, and it's like bump, ba-da-bum, bump. And I mean, Speeder Bike is supposed to be. It's a fast one too. It's a scherzo, and it's
Yeah.
we'll see how well we do with it.
Scherzo's always supposed to be lively.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that chat, Daniel. It's like, yeah, we're gonna now play some non-Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. The desert. You should ask for the main theme to Droids. The cartoon. Or the Ewoks.
The Ewok. Caravan of Courage.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Is he wearing a belt with a tuxedo? Are you kidding me?
What?
He's wearing a belt.
Who?
The conductor.
Is he wearing a tux or is it a suit?
Well, he's wearing like a tuxedo jacket, but his evening trousers don't have belt loops on them.
Don't put that in the chat. Pick up the pace.
Okay, I approve of this tempo.
I'm like
Faster?
a minute and 45 seconds behind, so
Oh, are you?
Oh,
yeah.
Refresh.
When I bought the concert ticket, it kicked me out.
Yeah, refresh.
Yeah, this pace is good.
Yeah, I agree.
Although I think this piece gets pretty much chopped the crap in the movie. It's hardly even played. Just mirrors the bass distorting. Bass drum.
I think you're right.
Speaking of you from the past, that xylophone player is pretty good.
I mean, the
Actually,
percussion, Mike, they're pretty hot.
again, my volume is so low, but
Mm.
it was also the bass drum was going right when the brass was blaring as well. But you could be right.
I quite like this. I haven't heard this before. Because the speeder bike cue is different
Yeah, this
on the album.
this
is
works as a
awesome.
very good symphony piece.
Yeah, that's great. I'd love to have a recording of that.
Is there a way to get a recording off of this show?
Yep.
Thank you, Deep Pensac, for watching us and
Oh.
listening to us.
Yeah, is that you signing off there?
Huh?
Yeah, that was.
From his comment, it sounds like he's signing off.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have a good night.
if you are
If you're
going,
taking off, yep.
have a good night, Deep Pensac.
Exactly. So this must be the Ray and Ben thing.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're going to do the kind of the major mode Ben solo theme here. Like the major mode take on Kylo's theme, which I'm not a fan of, but
Oh.
it sounds so weird.
I'm still trying to get the Rise of Skywalker FYC. It's just
It's got one heck of a cue that's not on the original soundtrack. It's ridiculous that it's not even on there.
is it a $600 worthy cue?
Yeah, well, no, but it's damn good. The Falcon Flight is pretty amazing. That would have been great in this.
Wow, can't believe I'm going to Utah this year. I didn't have that on my list of places to go. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it.
What did I do?
We started talking about the Utah Symphony,
Oh,
and
What did you put in the chat, Birdman?
The Desert Chase for an encore would be awesome, or to Thornfield.
They're going to come back and say, right, now we're going to play Crime Buster from Heartbeats.
Oh my goodness, yeah. You want to hear the brother of bad guy themes to the Imperial March? Here you go. God, that'd be awesome to hear in concert.
Have you ever been through Salt Lake City, Birdman?
No.
It's a big city. I crossed through it at night, and it was just like miles and miles of highway.
That's how I feel like Phoenix is. Phoenix just goes on forever.
Oh, really?
Massive. Yeah, this can be phenomenal to hear Jane Eyre by a live orchestra. Wow, that's like bucket list right there. Like I could die after that and probably be semi-happy.
Well, that's good. And it's Utah.
This piece kind of meanders. Really doesn't go anywhere.
Is this where she is on Tatooine?
No, this is her and Ben when Ben. Yeah, so he dies, he dies, she force saves him, and then
He dies again.
or she dies and then he force saves them, and then she kisses him and then he dies, but then she doesn't force save. I don't know. It's such a bad scene. But it's a kind of like it's an underscore cue for sure. And this is the kind of like
I can't remember what goes on because I only saw it the once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
I watched it again just to see if it was as bad as I thought it was. And it is.
Did you get your Cowboys copy today, Eric?
I did. I
Have
got
you
that, and then
listened
I
to
got None But the Brave a couple days ago from a guy just an hour away from me. So 2 that I wanted, and I got it like really reasonable prices. So pretty happy about that. And the Cowboys it's still in the shrink wrap. So, but I got it for like $40.
It's not bad.
It's really great.
So D. Pensac is here, and he asks, or he says, the question is Utah ready for Birdman?
Nobody's ready for Birdman.
Do you does Samuel Proctor come onto your chat sometimes?
I don't think so.
He's in Utah.
I'll say that concert was about sold out. There's only like less than 10 seats available left in the reserve seating.
Wow.
I didn't look for the yard seats because I'm not flying to Utah to sit in grass. I mean, I say that, but that's all they had. I would have taken it.
It's an outdoor concert with seating.
Yeah, the seats up close to the stage.
Oh, kind of like an amphitheater, like.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. That's cool.
I guess it's kind of set up how Tanglewood is. They've got the shed covered part, and they got the grass area.
Hey, Matt Walsh is in the seats.
Is he really?
No, I just guy that looks like him.
You know, he lives just up the road from me.
Oh yeah.
Like 2 hours up the road, you know.
2 hours up the road. Man, he doesn't strike me as an Alabama person.
No, he lives in Nashville.
You're 2 hours from Nashville?
2 hours south. Yep.
Oh my. Okay.
Maybe you and Professor Geek will come visit me now.
Well, the one chance I had to go to Nashville, I didn't. I would actually go to Memphis before I'd go to Nashville.
Memphis is the Chicago of the South.
Is
You
that a
don't
good
want
thing
to-
or a bad thing?
No.
It's
Do you
not
want to get murdered? Go to Memphis.
But I hear
Do you
they
want to
have
get robbed? Go to Memphis.
I hear they have a really good barbecue though. Like Memphis.
Yes,
Is
I have good barbecue walking distance from my house as well, and I don't get murdered.
That's true. I have family in Alabama.
What
I
part?
think. Huh? Where?
Didn't you live in Birmingham for a while?
No, I have family near there. I lived in Little Rock.
Okay.
I actually never been to Alabama. I haven't been to Mississippi. I haven't been to Alabama.
Mississippi is a beautiful state.
Is it really?
It really is. They got some gorgeous farmland.
I don't know. I think you kind of got to do throne room to wake people up after that. That's a sleepy suite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Davis right, Kentucky's a pretty state as well.
I don't know if I've been through Kentucky. Oh, I think I have.
Well, you and Professor are always welcome to come visit. I'll set you up someplace nice.
Aw, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Let me know. I got Eric to hook up when he came to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, you went to Alabama?
We were driving through on our way to New Orleans, and we spent
cool.
the day there. And then I met up with Daniel, and he walked us through. Oh God, where were we?
Downtown,
and took us to this awesome barbecue joint, and yeah, it was, and the place you put me up in was amazing. It was
Aw.
more than I expected. So
That's cool.
we were supposed to then reunite on the way back, but we couldn't. We just really wanted to get us home as fast as possible. So, but yeah, that was a highlight of our trip for sure.
I'm gonna say this. I feel like I would be a little bored playing in the symphony, and it's not the music they play. They look tired.
Yeah.
They all look so tired. Now, again, that's a professional thing, but
Mhm.
they're so reserved.
Continue, right?
Okay, what we gonna get?
Yay, lightsaber
Eric was
baton.
right.
Okay, actually, that's pretty cool. I dig the lightsaber. Yay! Antina. Good.
A special adaptation, a jazzy Star Wars favorite. Yeah, all right. I don't know about this concert. I saw Kunzel conduct Star Wars with the Toronto Symphony,
I bet that was good.
and it was just the original trilogy and the prequels, and so there was just so much more of like the entire Empire Strikes Back suite was there. Star Wars, all the Star Wars, he did the Jawas music. Return of the Jedi had Jabba's theme. It had Luke and Leia, Ewoks, everything. The full Phantom Menace suite. He did the Empire Strikes Back and titles as well. It was awesome. And he knows that music inside out. And it was one heck of a night. And it was only a few years before he died.
Keep the pace up on Yoda's theme for Empire.
He was perfect. Perfect. And Anthony Daniels was there. He was narrating the story, which was kind of interesting and fun.
There he is. There's our soloist. Oh, that was a short solo. It was a little part.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would y'all rate this concert?
Okay, well, we have to do it 2 ways.
Okay.
Let me turn this down.
Performance versus selection.
It was,
Is that your 2 ways?
oh, the 2 ways is how they played and the program.
That's
So
Yeah.
how
Performance versus selection, yeah.
yeah. So the selection, I would give it like for what they could have done, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10. Just the choice of music. But as far as their performance, it was good. The sound recording is good.
Yeah.
I do feel like I just get a sense. Maybe I'm just misremembering how orchestras were when like it was 15 or 20 years ago, but I just feel like there's a lack of energy. And I get it. It's your job. I know. But it's like there's it is like symphony concert playing is rough. I mean, it's a tough gig if you do play in the symphony, but they just look like they're ready to just go to the bar. But or maybe they're not a fan of the Star Wars. I don't know. I mean, orchestra members don't pick their program. They just play what people tell them to play.
Dance, monkey, dance, right?
People ask me if like, oh, you play violin? Do you play in the symphony? And I mean, if the opportunity presented itself, like people say, hey, we got this salary for you and we need a violin player, then depending on the schedule, then I would consider it. But it is tough. It's tough work. It's not an easy job.
I mean, if someone came to you and said 125 a year, we need a violin player.
Oh, that would be an easy yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be an easy yes. But, well, if they said you have to rehearse every day and no pay time off or whatever. I don't know if symphony performers have pay time off, but maybe they do. I know they'd have sick leave or something. But so 5 out of 10 for the selection. As far as their performance, I thought that with the recording, I would give it like an 8 out of 10, maybe a 9. I thought they played pretty well for what I could hear of the volume.
Yeah. There was just a couple of tracks that were a bit too slow, and apart from that, it was pretty much spot on, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the performers can't help that. The performers are under the jurisdiction of the judge, the conductor.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, it was bizarre. I thought that was a bizarre. The selections was bizarre the way they went about it, but I think I'm kind of in line with you. I'm more of like a 3 or 4 on selection. I mean, when you do not have
The
Duel of
choir.
Fates
Yeah.
as part of your program, like one,
Yeah.
I mean, besides the Imperial March, that is probably maybe besides the main theme as well, but that's one of the most famous pieces of Star Wars music. But then again, you don't have the choir, so I understand that doesn't work. So, but
They did do Battle of the Heroes, though.
They did do Battle of the Heroes. You're right.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Right. Did they really? They did Battle of the.
Yeah.
So either play the tracks that need the choir and have the choir, or don't play those tracks.
Right.
I
And so, like,
agree.
the fact there's no Anakin's theme, which is really weird.
They didn't do Binary Sunsets.
No.
They
Like, you
didn't do the
you didn't hear-
iconic.
yeah, you only hear the Force theme a few times in Battle of the Heroes. But I would think that I think you got to end it on a bang. And I mean, Cantina Band is not that. And I think Throne Room is the thing that you should really end this show on. And
Cantina Band is a good thing to have as an encore, but
Yes.
not the sole encore.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
think like as a list of encores, I guess. Yeah.
so yeah, it was a strange, but I mean, you're right. The performances were fine.
No,
The
actually,
conducting was kind of iffy, but I
I
don't
actually
know.
didn't pay attention to the conductor.
It was there's again being familiar with these pieces, and I don't mind different interpretations, but like when things are too slow, I don't mind if things have a bit more of a faster tempo than what you're used to, but when things are like supposed to be a bit more upbeat, then you should probably get there. And although I mean, I think the speeder chase is the only kind of upbeat thing that really felt like it was the proper tempo. But then even he had like we were talking about the love theme from Attack of the Clones, Across the Stars, that just felt very laborious, and it almost seemed like they weren't really into it.
It felt a little thin. And
So yeah.
the throne room, for the throne room, was that is that where Luke and Vader battle before the Emperor?
Oh no, sorry, I'm saying it's the throne room is the
Award
end of Star
ceremony
Wars.
in Star Wars.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
the
the
what?
the medal
The
ceremony.
award ceremony in Star Wars.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know that big triumphant
That's a
fanfare into the end titles, but there's a
Yeah.
concert version of it,
Yeah.
which does the throne room. It goes into C-3PO and R2-D2 being jettisoned out of the Imperial starship into Tatooine, which then goes into the Force theme,
Right.
Binary Sunset, and then plays the throne room again, and then goes into the Star Wars end title. It's about 7.5 minutes long, and it's wonderful. And they played it in Chicago, and they did a really darn good job at it. And it's a great way to end a Star Wars concert. So that would have been great to hear. But yeah.
So Birdman, what do you rate it?
I've already forgotten it. It's
Oh, geez, that's the lowest rate you could give.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I'm not going to rant and rave about it. I don't hate it. I just like, like you go on a date with a girl and it's just like, okay, you're a girl, a guy, okay. So you breathe air too? Okay, that's great.
Okay. Okay.
Sunshine's good. Yeah, sunshine's good. Okay, yeah. Okay, well, it was nice to meet you. Have a nice life.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know what?
I think that has to do with the selection, not so much the performance.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
I don't think they started it off right. And yeah, David's right. I mean, the main thing is that we're all brought together here tonight to bitch about the performing and
Talk about
I'm so
other
glad that all of
shows.
y'all showed up. And I really do wonder sometimes, am I just like a hard ass, or am I
You
just
are.
like a hard?
you
Yeah.
are. You are.
I am.
I mean,
Okay.
I can understand being.
are.
I understand your comment of it being forgettable. I think it was. I don't think there was anything where I went, "Wow, that was amazing," with the exception of maybe. Yeah, I think they did Princess Leia's theme really, really well.
They did.
Yes,
but
they
how
did.
many times have you heard
I
that?
haven't heard that speeder bike arrangement before, and I thought that was speeder bike. It's the speeder chase. I haven't heard that before, and I thought that was actually really good. But the rest of it felt like,
I think
was,
can I give an educated guess? I think it could be people behind the program, the admin behind the program. A lot of times to spice things up or to change things around, people are like, well, we can't keep playing Beethoven's Fifth. We got to play something else.
Right.
And maybe they'll play a symphony of his that's not as popular, and maybe for good reason. Like, everyone knows that Beethoven's Fifth is iconic, especially the last movement. And if you choose something else just because you don't hear it as much, it doesn't mean it's as good as the iconic repertoire. So maybe they were trying to say, well, everyone knows Duel of the Fates, so we got to do something. Maybe they replaced Duel of the Fates with something different, like, oh, but no one's heard this before,
right,
or put it this way.
and that's fair. I think that's fair, and I think that's fair across you're going to that concert in Utah and you're going to hear Jane Eyre, which hardly gets played, and I think Keith Lockhart played music from Dracula at one point, and you rarely hear that, or even The Patriot. When you go to a John Williams concert, sometimes you want to hear the familiar, but then there's other times you want to hear a surprise or two. I think that I could see people being disappointed, especially if you're familiar with Star Wars, without hearing some of those, like the iconic pieces. I can understand like Asteroid Field not being there, or I'm trying to think of stuff from like Anakin's theme and things of that sort. But I think that when you go to Star Wars, there's a few things you gotta play. And you would think the Duel of Fates would be one of them. But then again, it's like how it's expensive to get a choir in. And it's not the same. So, but then again, they play Battle of the Heroes, which again, it doesn't have that.
Did they really?
So, yeah. And so I guess it's hard. I mean, you only have 2 hours. There's a ton of music, and but thank God they didn't do any of the TV stuff. That's what I was worried about.
I just don't feel like they had presence. Like, yeah, they showed up, okay, but I don't feel like they showed up to show up. Like
you're right about that.
We're here. We're gonna have a great time tonight. Yeah. And it's like, hey, we got a show tonight. We're gonna watch the concert.
I've seen this so many times with symphonies where the conductor is so full of energy.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's just trying to bring up the level of energy that the players just do not have.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm a musician. I've talked with musicians. I don't perform as much as I used to. I need to change that eventually. But a lot of my musician friends who are professionals, they of course, people shouldn't assume, hey, you play music, you should do it for free. Obviously, it's really hard work, even though it brings you so much joy. But there's that. But then there's also no energy. Like when you're in an orchestra with a lot of energy, you feel it. And when you're in an orchestra when there's no energy, you also feel that. Like it's harder to play music when people are like, oh yeah, we rehearsed this, for 2 weeks. We're good. And it's like, oh, you get to play Star Wars though. How many of your relatives and your coworker, or not your coworkers, because they're the symphony players, but how many people around you can say, oh yeah, for my job, I'm playing Star Wars at a concert hall?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
But I thank you everyone who came to the show. I hope people enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for hosting this.
Thank you for bringing us all together. Really.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do enjoy these.
I really had a great time, honestly. So
yeah.
I
have a wonderful time coming on a stream and watching a concert. It's fun.
We should do it more often.
What happened to the Christmas concert? I was waiting for that email.
I had COVID at Christmas.
Oh. Okay,
I was sleeping like 20 hours a day for like 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. We should watch the Tokyo concert together and just hear you rip on.
There's probably, I've got the DVD. How do we do that?
Well,
I've got it on order, and Erik, you won't know, but I commented on that, and Daniel said, well, I hope you enjoy it more than I did.
And I do. I truly do. I hope you think it's amazing. To me, it was just like not.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Okay, so was this at Tokyo?
Yeah.
It was. And I begged someone who's on this stream to go with me to Tokyo. And he's like, I can't because I'm Canadian. I'm like, whatever. But
so you were planning on going to Japan?
I can't be responsible with money like that. I want to go, but dude,
that's expensive.
My wife would not forgive me.
Don't tell her. Don't tell her. She's like, honey, I'm gonna go out and buy some milk. I'll be back in a couple days.
Bad.
A week.
That's bad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna go to the gas station for a pack of cigarettes.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. But it looked like a great program, and I mean, they opened it with Sound of Bells, and they played the
That was the
tribute.
only piece from that entire CD that I actually liked.
Wow.
Well, I'm sorry. What was the program for Tokyo?
It was John Williams who conducted in Tokyo for like first time in like 30 something years.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh!
And the first half was conducted by someone else, and it was selections from E.T. that you never hear. It was Far and Away. I was so excited for it, and I was just like, I'm so glad I didn't go. I'm so glad. Man, if I had flown to Japan for that.
No. You're looking at this all wrong. You're flying to Japan. You'd be in
Yeah, I know.
Japan.
Yeah.
What the hell am I going to eat in Japan? They ain't got food for me.
What? Are you serious?
They do
I
have
don't eat Japanese food.
Yeah, they have American styled restaurants down there though.
They got McDonald's. They got McDonald's in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm. You can find anything down there.
Hmm.
Anything and everything.
They got a Richard Miles store.
I don't know. I'm sure they've got all the weird stuff that you've never seen before.
Probably.
I bet they have places where you could buy your long lost comic books and action figures and stuff,
True.
wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you might be able to buy copies of the concert before the concert even happens.
So was it the live stream that you saw and you saw the performance?
No, they just released it on CD, LP, DVD.
It was also on a
Oh.
It was streamed because at least I think I did. Did I grab that stream of the concert, or was it another one I was thinking of? I'm looking right now. Do I have John Williams in Tokyo? I have Sophie Mutter and John Williams.
Oh no. Oh,
I will
no.
say this though, that produced, and I hate to say this, one of my favorite arrangements that he has done so far, and it actually works well. It's a duel between violin and cello. And it's literally the duel from The Adventures of Tintin.
Yeah, I've seen her do that with Yo-Yo Ma.
It works.
I'll have to listen to that.
I hate to say it, but it works.
You guys have that's amazing. Well, here's the thing: you're being objective. I have never seen such disdain for a performer as you guys.
I don't hate her as a person. She seems very lovely, and John Williams is smitten with her, and that's fantastic. And
well, you know why though, right? Well,
yes.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But do you know why? I mean, I'm kind of being facetious, but
because he was because it's oh god, what's his face?
Andre Previn.
Yeah, Andre Previn. Yep.
Yeah.
So no, and it's great. He might hear something that we don't with those 90-year-old ears, and maybe we're just we're still hearing frequencies that he doesn't, and it's ear piercing, and that's actually funny. You know what, we're talking about that. There was what the hell were we watching? It was a scene in Dune 2. And I don't know what was going on in the scene. And all of a sudden, Cooper, our dog, his head pops up. And he's wondering, what's going on? And we're like, what's going on with Cooper? She's like, my daughter's there. She goes, you can't hear that? Hear what? There was this high-pitched whatever note or something in the audio mix that my wife and I couldn't hear. My daughter could hear it, and my dog could hear it. And it was driving him mad. And my daughter thought it was hysterical that we couldn't hear it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, way up in the whatever frequencies. I mean, I don't know what I've lost.
Too many concerts, man. Too many concerts.
Yeah. But it was interesting to kind of see that he went crazy and she could hear it. She's like, she goes, this is annoying. I'm like, okay. So, but there's something about,
it was in the mix, or
it was in the mix. Yeah. I forget what scene it was. I'm pretty sure it was Dune 2. Or was the first Dune? Yeah, Dune. Oh, it was great. It was really great.
Yeah. Need to, obviously.
Like my daughter is she watches a ton of TV and she'll watch movies with us, but I said, okay, we're gonna start here. I'm gonna have to explain a few things for you. And once she got kind of the gist of who was who and what was what, she's like, is the second one out already when the first one ended? I'm like, yeah, we can watch it tomorrow. And she's like, so what's going on? Is there gonna be another one? And I'm like, well, there's a television series that's coming out and you can watch that. She's like, this is great. So I'm really happy that she loved it. So yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome introducing them to stuff like that. So, but Dune 2's, it's pretty spectacular. It is. It is. There's some stuff in there you're like, yeah, this is how you could do blockbuster movies. This is how you do it. So,
on the subject of some of the big science fiction, what's your take on Megalopolis?
I don't know. I don't know what to make of that.
Have you seen the trailer?
I have.
The trailer
Yeah.
is
Bonkers.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
what he
getting
was
very
smoking while he was
biggest,
making
isn't
it,
Yeah.
but I've heard so many mixed reviews about it just being one of the worst things that people have seen. It's
But
just
going to be worth going to see just to get your own opinion on it,
I think
isn't
so.
it? Yeah.
I think it's
Is this a movie or a TV series?
yeah, it's Francis Ford Coppola's
Coppola,
latest.
yeah.
This is like
80, 85, something like that.
Yeah, this is his kind of like passion project that he's trying to find, I think, distribution for, and they played at Cannes, and I've heard so many mixed reviews.
Is it based on a piece of fiction or is it all film?
That's a good question. I don't know,
Don't know.
but it looks wild. Like
Yeah,
wild.
I tell my listeners and also and Prof knows this, my husband. I'm a sci-fi reader before I'm a sci-fi watcher, so I will always be behind the ball when it comes to watching science fiction.
I wonder what.
Did you read the Abyss? I sent y'all a copy of the Abyss.
You sent it to us?
Well, I mean, Professor Geek, and he said that you would probably read it first, and I said the book is better than the movie, and I really don't ever say that except like this one time.
I don't know if he got that in the mail. Did you just recently send it?
A couple months ago.
Oh, gee. I'll check. Hey, Cooper.
You hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dreaming.
Oh, he's dreaming.
Yeah.
Oh. What kind of dog is he?
He's a Beagle, Jack Russell, Cocker Spaniel mix.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He's very much more Beagle than anything else, but
Beagles. I think the Beagle is the American dog.
he's so cute.
Yeah, even though you're in Canada.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
But it's good that he's a mutt, so he doesn't have a lot of problems with him, which is good.
That's good.
But his dreams are amazing. And he looks like he's in the most uncomfortable position. I mean, I don't know if you can. I'll try to see.
Oh, yeah. So, D. Pensac, you're talking about a series that this could be based on. Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah, so that's the arm of the chair.
Yeah.
So he's not on a pillow or anything, but he's just conked out and he's dreaming about squirrels.
Cooper is such a beagle name too. I love it. I used to babysit. I used to have 2 beagles called Porter and Gypsy.
Yeah, he's got the Jack Russell energy, but he's got the howl of a beagle.
Nice.
And but I think he's got like he's got energy, but he's got like the temperament of a Cocker Spaniel. He's so very
that's good.
gentle at times.
That's good.
Yeah, he's a unique little guy.
I grew up with Cocker Spaniels.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're lovely.
They're great.
So,
right, guys, it's 4:30 in the morning here.
I'm
going to head out and see if I can get an hour, maybe 2 of sleep. It's been
Thank
great
you.
to meet
Thank
you for joining us.
you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Daniel, for hosting this.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed the show. So.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Indeed. Yeah. All right. Night, guys.
Have a good night.
All right.
yeah, that was fun.
By the way, Daniel, I mean, no matter how these concerts go, I do enjoy listening to them and hanging out. These are one of my favorite kinds of streams.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming. I know
Yeah.
both y'all are busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be watching hockey. So Actually, that's not true. We were gonna have a fire tonight, but then I'm like, no, we're gonna do this instead. So
Yeah.
This
time for fire.
did get me listening to the prequel scores a lot more this past week.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
I revisited them, and the Phantom Menace has a really good score.
It is. Yeah, it's I appreciate it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just shows that Star Wars should stick with the symphony as much as it can.
I think
And I
so
say that
too.
as an electronic music composer.
Yeah. I mean, it's so amazing. I mean, the worst thing about the Goranson scores is when it comes down to the action sequences, like it's like, hey, you're in Star Wars land, you get to play in Star Wars land, and now you get to kind of like create and express yourself in the best possible way. And there are some incredible action sequences that have some of the most dull electronic music I have
Here's the
ever
thing.
heard.
He does, from the little I've heard of his scores, he does not know how to work with transition.
Huh.
And when you don't, well, I'm not a film composer, so I really can't speak from experience, but
Yep.
it's my guess that that's why he can't grip you, like, because in a way, John Williams is all over the map, like, especially with his Daniel with his prequel, like Attack of the Clones. Some of that stuff, especially with Kenobi and Boba Fett, or Jango Fett rather, it's all over the place.
Right.
But it works.
Yep.
It works beautifully. Like that action sequence in Camino Island or whatever.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But Göransson, his gosh, the theme for was it Mandalorian theme
Yeah.
I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
The first part sounded okay, like the first third or 2/3, but then he's trying to make it sound like John Williams at the end. And the transition to that does not work at all.
Yeah.
And I get what he's trying to do, but he doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's one of those kind of hooks that everybody knows now, even though it's totally based on. I mean, he's a huge fan of Bill Conti, and so that theme is just right out of Rocky, and
The Mandalorian or the Boba Fett?
The Mandalorian, the Boba Fett one is like, it's almost a direct ripoff of whatever this Swedish.
It's also poorly sung.
Yeah,
and I don't know if that was on purpose.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But the Mandalorian there's, like I said, there's some sequences that you're like, wow, this is an epic set piece. And then if you compare what John Powell did with his, Powell was able to modernize it, but without it sounding like a derivative, cliche, modern score.
Yeah.
There are electronics and heavy percussion. It's all in Powell's style, but it still sounds like Star Wars. It's following the action, and there's themes all over the place. So if you listen to the train heist sequence, it's you know what's going on. You know when the bad guys show up. You know when there's tragedy. You know when Han is being heroic, but it's also incredibly tense. And that's the thing about some of these action sequences in these new Star Wars projects, is just that, I mean, the heroes are usually going to win, but sometimes they don't, and you can actually help with the tension of the sequence, even though it's supposed to still be fun. But Powell did it brilliantly, because things don't work out in that scene for our characters, and you could just hear it moving towards that. It starts off as something like, oh, right, this is great, this is gonna be fun, it's chugging along, but then all of a sudden, everything just hits the fan. And so you're talking about same thing with Göransson, trying to follow the action. Powell does it brilliantly, and that's what John Williams does brilliantly. And but then we get to the whole Kessel Run sequence in Solo, and it still has a sense of fun and adventure. But then there's this whole sequence with the Maw in within this action sequence, and it's terrifying, but it's also exhilarating at the same time. And it feels like Star Wars, but it also feels like somebody taking Star Wars and kind of doing something a bit different with it, but not really letting go of John Williams and saying,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to do something different for the sake of doing something different. And that's where I don't like where Star Wars music is going. And I mean,
Well,
and
yeah.
it's just ignoring that and kind of like, sticking your nose up at John Williams going, well, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this. It's like, well, there's something that works here.
What
And
makes John Williams so great, especially in the context of Star Wars, is he's very operatic as a composer.
yes.
And so if you want your own signature, that's fine, but you have to take from him what made his music work. And I would actually venture to say, please use more or less the same tones and harmonies and instrumentation as best as you can, even if it is your own signature. And I was going somewhere with that, but a lot of people now, like, I appreciate. Well, yeah, okay, Gernson's okay for the electronic stuff, but that's what he does. Like, that's what he wants. Actually, Natalie Holt, who did Kenobi, also was the same. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll do my own stuff.
Shadows of the Empire, Joel McNeely.
Okay.
Right. And that's
Yeah.
another, that's a guy who can definitely make it sound like Star Wars, but take it in different directions. Definitely.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, Jeremy
he introduced
Sully.
the choir to Star Wars. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something new, but it works. But it still
Yeah.
feels like Star Wars. Although, I mean, a lot of it, I mean, you could pick and choose where, the classical piece of music that he took and put it into his score, but it still feels like, I mean, John Williams did that anyway with Star Wars. So what were people complaining about? I think that, oh man, now I've lost my train of thought. So I mean, Andor. So people feel that Andor, was super grounded in, reality, and so you couldn't have a like John Williams score in it. And I totally disagree with that, because John Williams is not only made up of action, adventure, heroics,
Right.
and he would understand the tone of the series and write music appropriate for that, but it still would feel like Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it would have that musical language, that vocabulary that would feel like it. And we've all seen it. We've all seen some of the darker scenes in any of the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy, and some of that great kind of deep, dark underscore that he's written. And no, it's not action adventure all the time. And John Williams could knock it out of the park. But the fact is, then you have Nicholas Britell, who's a fine composer himself, but it's just so bland. And I mean, it feels like you have to just kind of write as minimal as possible to make it sound real or
Yeah.
feel real. And I'm like, no, you can still be expressive, but like, I just don't understand this whole deviation from the established sound, and also just not even using the themes, which is bizarre to me.
Oh, the themes have to stay.
Right? Like, so like saving the themes until the last episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi was like, give me a break. Seriously? I'm pretty sure John Williams would be okay if you used his themes for the entire series, because it's a direct sequel. Like, why would you not want to use them? He would use them.
I venture to say, I'm not speaking for every composer out there, but themes are scoffed at. Their themes aren't taken seriously.
Right.
And it's silly, because themes are the one thing that's going to separate your music from everyone else's.
Yeah. But I mean, when Darth Vader pops up on screen for the first time in that series, what do you want to hear? I mean, let's hear it. Let's hear the Imperial March. Let's go.
Exactly.
Right? When someone uses the Force, let's go. Use the Force theme.
I didn't see it. Did it not happen?
No, it didn't. It didn't until the last episode, where it was like one of those, like, oh, they finally earned the theme, or
they earned the theme. Oh, that's
let's do a James Bond movie with no James Bond theme until like the last 5 minutes.
And David Arnold did that for Casino Royale, but
that made sense, because James Bond wasn't really James Bond until the end of the film.
It was James Bond.
But it still felt like James Bond.
Right.
Whatever Natalie Holt did with William Ross's contributions to try to save whatever happened during the writing of that score. I mean,
it sounded, I compared her, because I did listen to a little bit of the Kenobi score, and I'd have to listen to it again before I would actually be objective about this, but I do remember it pretty much sounding like what she did with Loki
It's fair.
in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like Princess Leia's in it
Yeah.
as a kid,
Yeah.
but she gets a brand new theme.
Why?
So, well, because she's a kid, so she's not Princess
Okay.
Leia yet. Like, but wait, hold on a minute. When she was born in
Yeah,
Revenge
that's
of the
true.
Sith,
That's true.
Williams was okay to give her theme. It's
Yeah.
the same
That's
person,
true.
right? We all know who she's going to grow up to be. Like when you see young Princess Leia, like the nostalgia hit of that would be better than whatever was created. And she created her own theme for Leia, and I understand the new theme for Obi-Wan. I mean, the Force theme was his theme in the first film anyway, but then of course that transitioned into the Force theme. So him getting a new theme was actually, I thought that was great. But his theme was the only thing that was recognizable throughout the entire series, and the application of his theme, which was done by William Ross, not Natalie Holt, was really, really good. But I think it was the directive of the director or the showrunner was like, we're not going to, you're gonna go through and write your score pretending that we don't have access to these themes.
Yeah.
Which I also find really weird. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of legal nonsense you got to go through in order to get access to the themes and use them and whatnot. But you have departments for that stuff, so let them take care of that. I just don't understand why you would have this legacy and these legacy themes and not want to bring them in and use them.
I feel like paying $4+ billion for something gives you license to something like a John Williams theme.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say I understand the behind the scenes, and I mean, I've heard that Williams is very hands-on when it comes to his music, and it's probably one of the reasons why you don't hear his themes in the video game music. Like Gordy Hobb doesn't use this stuff at all.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, but I mean, Giacchino used his themes. Howell used his themes, but I guess he got permission because Williams wrote the theme for Solo, and I don't know, but it just,
if the composer's really clever, they would still know how to make it sound like John Williams without actually copying him.
Sure.
And I don't mean that like oh, you got to sound like John Williams. What I'm saying is like he writes it in. If you knew your music history and a little bit of theory, you would know not exactly, but you would know around what John Williams is working with. Like he's
it's like Medicine Man is the most John Barry sounding Jerry Goldsmith score.
But it still sounds like Jerry Goldsmith as well.
It still sounds like Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see it being a John Barry score.
Yeah. So I mean, Gordy Hobb, if you listen to the his latest Star Wars score with Stephen Barton, he's created this theme for the main character, and I think that was even in the first game. But it feels like a John Williams theme. It does, and it develops in it, but it plays nice within the Star Wars universe and that sound. And Gordy Hobb is establishing his own sound now, but still very much sounding like John Williams without it kind of feeling like a ripoff of a cue here and ripoff of a cue here and ripoff of a cue here. It really is starting to sound like his own take on John Williams' Star Wars, and it's really, really interesting to see his progression. But I think the Jedi Survivor, I think that's what it was called, but it might be the best thing he's done in Star Wars, and it feels like Star Wars.
To listen to that score, I never.
Yeah, there's a really, really awesome cue.
I actually heard good things about that game.
And it's called The Undercity. It lasts almost 9 minutes, but it's really up tempo. And I mean, it's a very, very long score. But if you just listen to that, you'll get a good idea of what he and Stephen Barton are doing. But it's called The Undercity. And I've even had a lot of like video game music people say that's probably one of the best cues they heard last year.
I'm actually going to listen to it right now.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's very much in that prequel era Williams sound. So very busy, but
I see.
But it's hard. And the thing is, even Hobb will say it's like, even if it sounds like I'm copying John Williams, it's really hard to copy John Williams.
Yeah, and it's
hard
not to imitate John Williams because you can't you'll fail.
Right. But you'd swear that Williams wrote this, although there's some kind of like modern things that are thrown in there. But it's, yeah, I think I don't want to hype it up too much, but I think it's great.
Well, if you think that John Will, and I believe he took from Holst, he took from Wagner, he took from
Indeed.
Strauss,
Yep.
he took from so many of these late Romantic composers that if you take that, I'm like, oh, he did that. Okay, I'm gonna do, because I hear it right now with the Survivor. I know exactly what he's doing, and yes, I hear a little bit of modern, but it's not bad. There's not a lot of modern harmony like I hear with even Kevin Kiner these days.
Right.
Yeah, that can sound.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear it. I
Right.
definitely can hear the take.
But but it's kind of his own thing.
Yes,
Right.
it is.
He's at least trying new things, but still staying within that John Williams musical template, that blueprint.
Yeah,
that
he's
just
not
feels-
copying John Williams. He's
Right.
using. Actually, this is really good. Actually,
Mhm. And it goes on for like 9 minutes.
Yeah. I could hear it get tiring after like minute 3, unless there's a transition into something slower. But he's working with dense chromaticism
Mhm.
in a symphonic way that Williams did. Sounds like Williams, but you can also see it's his signature too.
Yeah. And
That's
he's
cool.
written hundreds of hours. Well, I'm going to say hundreds of hours, but maybe hundreds of hours of Star Wars music.
Yeah,
He's written more Star Wars music than anybody.
this is good.
Yeah. It's pretty
Yeah.
wild.
That's great.
Yeah.
I
So,
hope he.
It's funny how the video game world is okay with the John Williams sound, but nobody else is. Everybody else wants something different.
They need to hire this Barton guy to write the TV show music.
And the thing is, Stephen Barton also, he understands the legacy of a series music. So if you listen to his material for Star Trek Picard season 3, because he took over from Jeff Russo, there's 2 cues in there. Well, actually, it was him and Freddie Weidman. But there's a cue in there which is the launch of the USS Titan, and it's like a love child of James Horner and Jerry Goldsmith.
Oh, okay.
With this brand new theme for the Titan, and it's just beautiful. And then, of course, have you seen the series?
I don't follow Star Trek as much.
Okay. Well, anyway, for anybody that's seen it, who's still on the stream, episode 9 is like one of the greatest things in, like, any TNG fan would say that's like one of the best things that's ever happened to like the TNG series.
Oh, okay.
It's wonderful. And Freddie Weidman writes this 6-minute piece that's just he brings back Jerry Goldsmith's the motion picture theme, which also doubles as the TNG theme. But it's just so warm, and it's in that kind of Star Trek language of music that Jerry Goldsmith brought to the table in the motion picture. But then he also will modernize the piece a bit, and I'm okay with it. But it's just so exciting. It's so good. It's dripping in nostalgia, but it doesn't feel like overly saccharine. Wonderful stuff. So, and Stephen Barton composed at least half of that series. So, yeah, he understands.
I hear it.
The legacy. So,
Yeah.
but Gordy Hobb is mostly responsible for the sound of the Star Wars video games. So,
Okay, Gordon Hobb.
I would say Gordy Hobb is writing
Gordy.
Yeah, Gordy Hobb is writing the Undercity cue.
Okay.
So, but if you go back and listen to his other stuff, yeah, he's phenomenal.
I probably should talk about this, and we won't keep you, Birdman, if you gotta go. I probably should talk about this on my stream sometime or on a video, and that is a lot of modern day composers, film or otherwise, they don't write for the virtuoso anymore. And what that means is they you got to have a set of chops, especially as a wind player and as a brass player, to play John Williams with something like Star Wars. There's no denying it, like Chicago Symphony brass section level. And
he would write music specifically for certain performers that he knew. he did that a lot with the LSO. He's like, I know the flute player in the LSO, I know the violin player,
The horn
oboe player. I'm writing this
Yeah.
for them because they're going to be performing it.
And
And-
that's actually that's the traditional composer anyway. Like for a sonata or for a concerto, they would write for a gifted friend or a patron or whatever. And nowadays people just write, and I kind of fall into this trap too as an electronic music composer. It's very easy to get lazy with your music because it's like, well, we don't have to write for we can write for professionals and they don't have to play that hard of music.
Mm.
And it's like, if someone said, well, why don't you play it for the symphony? And it was all modern video game music, I would just be doing da 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 with the frog of my bow. It's like, that's boring. I want to play
Yeah.
Tchaikovsky, please.
Yeah. I was I was at a recording session a long time ago for sorry, I'm losing my voice. Michael Giacchino's what was it? Secret Weapons Over Normandy. Really crazy orchestral video game score that he wrote. It's one of his best. So we were, I think, through the first session in the morning, and the contractor, the first violin, Simon James, walked up to Michael, and Michael was talking with me just after the session was done. We were on break. And he goes, Michael, I just want to thank you. This music is amazing. You've given us something to play and something that we enjoy
Oh,
playing.
man.
Because for the past week, we've been playing this modern whatever, and it was the most boring, like, ostinato crap that we were playing. He's like, thank
Oh,
goodness you're here because we love playing this stuff.
yeah.
And I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
wow. And they're like, it's challenging, but it's fun. And it's just really great to play together as a group like this, because I think they were even, what's it called? It's called striping, I think, where they're playing in individual sections, recording individual sections.
Okay.
And they're like, the percussion were doing their own thing, then the violins would come out do their own thing, then the woodwinds would come out do their own thing, and the horns. And it was like we weren't playing together. So he literally thanked Michael for coming up and
Wow,
going, thank you for writing this for us, because
insane.
we love this. And I'm like, I get it. I get
gotta-
it. Performers need it.
I'm gonna have to blame the ASCAP composers for high school music for this. I mean, I have a couple students in high school, and one girl in particular, she bless her teacher. The teacher always chooses these ASCAP composers that just do very generic modern stuff, and she knows it as a 10th grader. She's like, I don't like this, and I'm like, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand why, because she would rather play the Brandenburg Concerto.
Right.
It's like, because Bach had a way, Vivaldi had a way, all these composers back then had a way of writing for people with some, aptitude
Yeah.
and some athleticism.
Yep. You're right. You're definitely right. But then again, I mean, it's the whole argument within film music where, you're just trying to serve the picture, and you just do what you can to make sure that it works in context. And
That's true.
I say that's fine, but and I repeat myself constantly, where Alex North, during the recording of his score to 2001, when Jerry Goldsmith was re-recording it in 1993, he was interviewed, and he said something along the lines of, like, I really hope that composers out there, you're writing and for the film, and that's your first goal. But he said, I hope all the composers out there are also writing for themselves, meaning that you're writing the best music you can possible that could transition out of the context and stand on its own. And I was like,
Right.
thank God, we need more
Right.
Alex Norths in this world. And his stuff
Yep.
was challenging, but you can listen to his stuff on its own and still get great joy out of it, and follow the dramatic arc of his music. And it really, really works. And you can do the same thing with Jerry Goldsmith, who was a protege of Alex North's, and all the great composers. Their stuff, it transcends the films. But nowadays, like you're saying, it's just, you're finding that these composers are really only important or only focused on the context, and it's working in the film rather than, I mean, I would say, as a composer, I'm not a composer, but like, I'd want to write for myself. Like, why are you writing music, for crying out loud? Like,
Yeah.
why would you not strive to be the best you can be, instead of just kind of
Well,
like lowest common denominator?
I say this for any artist, composer, writer, filmmaker, whatever the case is like, okay, if you're well, I'll just stick with music. If you're a composer, I want to compose music I could listen to.
Right.
Like I would be happy to listen to myself, and it's not a narcissistic thing. It's like, no, I would like, I go with saying make art repeatable, like repeat the experience. Can your music do that? Can your movie do that? I mean, I've heard a lot of people just say, even with recent movies, it's like, yeah, I don't have to watch it again. I'm like, that's so sad.
Right.
So sad.
It is.
Put all that effort in.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I don't know. But I also feel like I'm pretty out of touch with what, my preferences are. I listen to a lot of other film music podcasts with younger hosts, and listening to like what they feel like is the best or their favorite film music from last year. If you listen to their shows and listen to what they liked and then compare it to what I've been doing, wow, I'm totally out of touch. I'm still very much old school, and I do like the new stuff, but I've got to find something really interesting, not just something that's kind of mid and like, oh, it's okay to listen to at the gym, so it must be the best thing I've heard. Like, no. I mean, gym music's great, awesome, but like, Jesus, man, like, could you strive for something a little greater? But it's amazing how out of touch I am. And I admit that I am.
Why are you out of touch? Why can't they be out of touch?
No, that's fair. That's fair. But it's amazing. I would say that their choices would probably be more in the majority of what I saw in, like, let's say, bests of lists for scores, especially maybe with film critics as well, where I am like, Mika Levi, I can't stand at all. I cannot deal with her music. I don't even think it's her. Sorry if I think it's their music. I can't stand.
You know what it sounds like.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna try not to. I want to keep saying she, but I'm sorry. Levi.
It's Daniel's stream.
Yeah. So anyway, but
I don't think Trudeau's going to come down here and arrest me for.
But anyway, they wrote music for Jackie, but in an interview, or it was like a panel, they mentioned that they hated writing film music, or they hated writing music for film, so that they wrote the music and they didn't even look at the script.
What?
So it was like they were writing music that I'm gonna say she. Well, I'm gonna keep calling
just
her
say she. I dare you.
So how she perceived Jackie in her head, and not how she was written in the script. And so she just wrote music and then gave it to the director and said, "Here you go. You put it wherever you feel like it's necessary."
No.
You're not a film composer then. You're not.
No,
I film composing.
I had a very bad experience with the student film project when I was a graduate student. It was a horrible story, but fortunately I had a friend who was best friends with an Emmy Award winning commercial composer, and I asked him, his name was Eric too. I said, Eric, listen, I'm in a bind. Can you just compose for this student film? Oh, where'd he go?
Oh, I don't know.
So he's got to be back. He's got to shut this thing off.
Yeah, that's right.
But it was, where was I going with that? Oh, but yeah, the film, if you're a film composer, you have got to be in sync with what the filmmaker wants.
Right.
And sometimes, like, if it's a student filmmaker, maybe they don't. That was my bad experience. Like, the student filmmaker said, "Oh, you know music, so you do whatever you want." And I tried. He hated it. I cried in a laboratory. It was horrible. But no, I was like, the filmmaker knows what that person. He knows what he wants, and then he says to the composer, "Hey, this is what I'm looking for. You have your music sensibilities to give me this effect." And that's how it should be. I can't imagine not looking at the script.
Right.
Or a storyboard or something.
Right.
And they say, "Oh, I just have in my head, here you go." I mean, Howard Shore, he walked on the sets. Like, and he saw the concept art.
Yeah.
Like, he saw all that good stuff.
Yeah, and I don't understand I mean, look, even John Williams has written music away from the film because he had to.
Yeah.
But he still
Okay.
he still talked to Oliver Stone, read the script, which he doesn't normally do, but he got inside his mind and got inside that script and understood, okay, I have to write music for the assassination. I have to write a theme for Arlington. I have to write a theme here. I got to do a theme for this. And so but I'm writing essentially library cues, but I understand that this sequence is going to be about 6 minutes long, and it's going to be, the assassination sequence, and it's going to be really tense. So I've got to write music that's going to follow along for that and whatever, but I mean, that's understanding how your music is going to be used in the movie because that's what you're writing it for. But what Levi was doing was just so jaw-droppingly insane that it's like, what is the difference between then going out to, let's say, Envato Elements and grabbing a $20 piece of music and just throwing it into your movie? Like, what did she do? Like, she crafted something new, but so are these production music guys. Are crafting something new for whatever they feel like. And that's exactly what was happening. But it was like, oh, she's such an amazing composer. She's such a great job.
I don't.
Film.
Here's the thing.
She didn't do anything.
I don't get the argument. If the argument is floating out there, I don't get that the argument is like, well, I gotta find something that's like expressing me, myself. It's like you're already gonna do that by default as a creative.
Right.
It's like there's no way I'm gonna compose a piece of music that is not something that's not my own expression, my own signature. Like,
right.
I mean, unless I'm really trying to copy someone else, but.
Yeah. But to say that the film gets in the way is the weirdest thing from a
for a film score.
Yeah. It was like, what are you talking about? And
that makes me so sad.
Yeah. It was one of the most bizarre quotes I have ever read. And
no, it's unconventional, therefore it's valid. That's what they think.
Exactly.
And I do mean they in both ways.
Yes, but that's what gets noticed now.
What will people be listening to in 20 years? That's
not Jackie, not Zone of Interest, and I mean, but
I think the way we still watch westerns and film noir is the way people 30 years from now will still be watching things that include John Williams and James Horner, and Goldblum and all those great people.
Yeah,
I don't think people are going to remember Göransson. I seriously, I don't think they're going to remember him. Maybe Oppenheimer for what he did with tempo change.
But it seemed like he was creating something that nobody had ever done before. It's like, I'm going to change tempo in the middle of a piece. I'm like, congratulations. This has been done how many millions of times? I also think he maybe complicated the matter too. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but these session players are some of the best players in the world. Their sight reading is incredible.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so would they have not been able to, going through that piece of music, pick up on when a tempo change was needed without the help of hearing that tempo change in the click 2 bars previous? Like, they'd be able to pick up on that, right? And a good conductor would be able to guide them without I think he complicated things for no good reason. But I don't know. I'm not a musician.
Here's what I would have done if I was writing to that effect. The tempo change thing and meter change, this has been in 20th century concert music for decades. In the context of a film, I'm not sure, but here's what I would have done. I would have just said a cello rondo the whole time. Just like, okay, go faster. And then just go faster. Right. And then that be the interpretation of the conductor saying, okay, we're going to start at this tempo. And how about at rehearsal H or measure 82 or whatever? How about by this point, we're going to be at this specific tempo, but you just keep increasing the speed. And I feel like that would have been a lot more an intuitive approach.
Yeah.
But maybe the conductor knew exactly what to do. And then the people listening to that in their earphones or whatever.
I don't know. It just seemed more about the story of how it was made rather than the piece of music itself. I mean, it's okay. Honestly, I thought Oppenheimer was overscored anyway.
I never
What do you mean
could
by
get
that?
through it.
It needed less music.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Every it seemed like everything was important in that movie when it didn't have to be. I would think that 3 or 4 cues at specific sequences would have made those sequences seem much more important, and then the music would have felt like it was not earned, but relevant, because it was just playing through everything. It was wallpapered.
I'm going to say this. Okay. Oh, I got that impression of his with his Tenet score.
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes.
And here's the thing. Here's what we computer electronic music composers struggle with. Now, I don't, because I was trained not to do this. But electronic music composers who work in synths that can sustain indefinitely, they struggle so hard with space and negative space and silence. I have a strong appreciation for electronic music artists who work in ambient music. I love ambient music, but sometimes if it doesn't stop, sometimes it works well. But sometimes, especially with film, you need silence. I think it was like I think an example, if I remember this correctly, the Batman animated series, I think it was Shirley Walker, maybe it was someone else.
Yep. Shirley Walker and
She did and I think it got an award because Graham Nolan said it did, but the episode A Bullet for Bullock, and it was big band. It was highly interesting action sequences using jazz and big band and all that great stuff. And there are some, it was either in that episode, but definitely in other episodes where it would be silence in an animated series for like a minute or more.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you cannot, and it was still good though. Like the film work involving that series was so good. And I'm like, why do people feel like you need to just soak up all the space as a composer?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, music has silence.
Exactly. And that all comes down to spotting. It's if you do not have a good spotting session. I mean, the thing is Christopher Nolan is just known for just having sound blasting through his films all the time, and even covering dialogue. And that was one thing that was annoying the heck out of me. Although there was one great scene in Oppenheimer for about 3.5 minutes where there was no music, and it was just so glorious. You could just
that's bad.
You could just hear them talk, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because the problem was the music wasn't doing anything. It was playing through scenes. It was, like you said, filling space, but not doing anything.
Yeah.
And that's the worst type of film music, when it's not doing anything, but it's also interfering with the film, with the dialogue. Like you can't do that. You can't. And
now
so
Empire Strikes Back, wall-to-wall score.
See, and that's
wall-to-wall score.
But even in Empire, there's an 8-minute cue at the beginning of that film that was dialed out almost completely because they didn't want all that music there. But the Star Wars films are wallpapered with music.
But at the same time, Empire Strikes Back, so many of those bits of music and those musical cues are very soft.
Yes. Yes.
And very sparse. Now, when I say silence, I don't mean even the absence of sound. A simple pulling back and just leaving 1 or 2 instruments is fine. Indeed. And that's enough of a reprieve as well, too.
It's like the scene where they detach from the Imperial Star Destroyer and go along with the garbage, right? And you have this great sweeping version of Han and Leia's love theme, and then all of a sudden it almost goes down to silence, and then I think it's a bassoon that starts playing Boba Fett's theme, and that's all you hear with a scratch on the cymbal. But everything just dies,
right?
With the exception of this bassoon, and you're like, huh? But it's so sinister, and you pay attention because all this great romantic music all of a sudden has been stripped away, and you're like, oh wait, there's still danger, but it's not overplayed. It's very mysterious. You don't know who this guy is, and now he's on their tail. It's like, huh, okay. But that you're right, that's the difference. The dynamics of the music, following the tempos, the dramatic tempos, the dramatic changes, and it's like they're just not taught the way I think they used to be.
Oh no.
Um,
No, no,
and
no.
they're learning. I think they're learning from the wrong things. And on top of that, it's a lot of computer stuff where, and I'm not against electronics and I'm not against computers, but it's just it seems like that's where they're learning from, and
Well, that's the travesty of the whole thing because electronic music on its own, just as a medium with all the technology and capacity we have now and processing power, can actually sound very beautiful and very
oh yes,
organic.
yes,
But they're not approaching it that way. Like if you see Göransson, for instance, he's got a what is it called? Like an R20, like one of those like crazy old synthesizer,
mm,
you know, voltage control cables and stuff. He's like, I'm just a kid in a sandbox right now. I'm like, well, that's great, but it's not just about experimentation.
yeah,
You got to have structure. You got to have cues. You got to have pacing. Because the thing is, the film music is responsible for cueing the listener and the viewer in on what's about to come
indeed,
or what's happened, or it helps with the storytelling
yeah,
experience. And you can't achieve that with just this wall of sound for 15 minutes straight.
that's right, that's right, that's exactly it. I mean, that doesn't sustain the action. It doesn't tell me anything. There's always ups and downs and highs and lows, and I think the music needs to dictate that. But on top of that, you also got to be telling, the side of the story that we can't see or sometimes we can't feel. And that's a skill. That's a whole entire different type of skill. But when you're talking about electronic music and it being expressive, I still return to Blade Runner all the time.
You mean
And
the old version?
Vangelis's Blade
Yeah,
Runner
Vangelis. Yeah.
from
Yep.
1982. It's a symphony of electronics,
Yep.
and it's just so like that whole opening sequence,
Yeah. It's
the
good.
dynamics of it all. I just it just hits you, but
Yeah.
it's not big all the time, but it's also not quiet all the time. But it's also, like I said, there's empty space. There's room to breathe. You can hear separate elements and separate instruments, and it just all blends together perfectly. There's really nothing like it.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to electronic music, that's the first thing I would say. Like, if you want to experience what it's really capable of
Mhm.
in a film setting, that's it.
Yeah. I think the first Blade Runner film is the go-to to start with that. Like saying, okay, this is what Vangelis achieved with Blade Runner here. So
Yeah,
electronic music can be achieved. It's just people think, well, the more I have, the better it is. It's like, no,
right. Yeah. Well, I
no.
mean, even like uh, Brad Fidel in especially something like Terminator 2. I mean, it's very industrial. It's very hard hitting, but it doesn't get in the way. It is very um I mean, it complements that film so much. Like even the driving synth for the T1000. T1000? Is that what it is?
Yes.
I think that's T1000. That driving kind of sound that just seems like a this pulse and heartbeat that just it's getting, louder and louder and quicker, and it works so perfect for that character because it almost never stops, just like he never stops. But it's a perfect little device.
Mhm.
But there's nothing else surrounding it. It's just this constant pulse. But it works. It works so well. But then of course he brings in some drums or whatever, but it's not like that wall of drum sound that Zimmer will produce. Um, but there's some really interesting, detailed, wonderfully orchestrated action sequences in that score as well. But it's all electronic, and it's really, really well done. I would
Mhm.
say it works better
Yeah.
in the film and in context than it does on its own. But I still think it could be enjoyed on its own as well. But I mean, if you're talking about another great electronic, like you're talking about action,
Mhm.
it's not Zimmer I'm going after. It's Terminator 2. I'm like,
I
there it
it's
is.
funny it's funny you say that because my favorite Zimmer is actually his orchestra music.
Yeah.
I well, I mean, there's some good stuff, like, with a little bit of Interstellar too. I mean, I
Mm,
appreciate his experimental side,
yep.
and he's got, like, a little bit of Tangerine Dream in him
Yes.
and everything. Um, his but the more he experiments, I will say, the less he does melody.
Yeah, no, and I agree.
And he's a very good melodic composer.
Yeah.
He can do it. I've heard it.
I think yeah, no, you're right, because like there's some great melodies in like The Creator, which came out last year. There are recognizable melodies in Dune, and they're very powerful. That love theme in Dune 2 is, oh, it's so heartbreaking. It's so good. It's played on this, well, I want to say it's Duke, but it's not. I think it's a custom instrument that sounds like it, but still.
Do I need to go listen to Dune 2?
It's gonna be, if you didn't like Dune 1, you won't like Dune 2, but I can point you to about 2 or 3 cues. I think you need to see the movie to understand the love theme and why it is like it's a love theme, but it's actually the most tragic theme you've ever heard in your entire life. And it just hits so hard at the end of that movie. But it might be one of the best pieces Hans Zimmer has ever written, I think.
Nothing beats Lion King.
No, and that's true. It's true, but it's so stripped down.
That's
It's
true.
very much this duduk instrument, and then just kind of like a accompanying ambient tones and chords, and it's simple, but just so incredibly effective and affectionate. It's the feeling. And when Hans Zimmer does that right, he will slay me like he did with the stay cue in Interstellar. It just blew my mind.
Is it Kiss the Ring, or is it A Time of Quiet Between the Storms?
So for Dune 2.
Big Al, we are still on.
Yeah.
We're still going, Big Al.
Are you done?
Hold on, let's see if I can find it.
I may have to leave in a few minutes myself, but
Yeah.
it's good music talk.
A Time of Quiet Between the Storms.
That's it.
And I think
Like
yeah,
4.5 minutes.
beautiful voices, and then there's only I Will Remain, which is, oh my Lord, it is just heartbreaking.
Did you cry like a baby?
I did not, no. But it was all like the goosebumps and all that sort of stuff. I can't remember the last thing I cried to. I'll probably Picard season 3 because I'm such a nostalgic nerd for that series. But it was so overwhelming. I didn't expect to see what I saw in that episode. So I was like, yes, they finally did it. They did it right. What was the last one? I was like, I had to cover my face from my family.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
My professor, I'm an empathetic person, so like I'll cry in deep moments on Stargate, and he says to you, "Are you okay?
Oh,
Do you
yeah?
need tissue?" And sometimes it's the music. Sometimes.
Oh yeah. Oh, Godzilla -1.
Oh, I heard it was good.
Good gracious.
Actually, I should watch that film.
Oh, you want to see a blockbuster film done right? A film that trusts its audience,
Mm-hmm.
and audiences are not so stupid, and audiences don't have ADHD. That audience can sit through and watch character development for about 25 minutes, and you can wait until the middle of the film before you see Godzilla, like the real version of Godzilla, and then it all pays off, and you feel for the characters. And I think that's what they were trying to do in the new Godzilla movies, and they failed miserably. This movie hits it out of the park.
I've heard nothing but praise
and
for that film.
Budget, it was $10-15 million.
Wow.
It's all on screen, and it is so impressive. So impressive. I didn't expect to. Yeah, the thing is, once you give me characters that I care about and they're well written and the story's very good, then I'm just sucked in, and if anything happens to them, I'm just in a puddle of tears. And so this one, I don't want to ruin anything for you, but go and see it, and see it on the biggest screen possible. Turn up the volume, and it's really, one of the best like monster movies I've ever seen. But it has heart. But it's also impressive. Like you're just watching stuff. You're like, how do they do this on this budget? And how do they make it look so like that's the thing is they make it look real. Nothing seemed fake. I watched it and there's nothing that looked off to me at
That's
all
good.
in the entire movie. And that's how you do
cool.
it right.
Yeah.
And I think Hollywood's got to learn from Godzilla -1 that you
Are
don't
you
need to
crying,
spend-
Daniel?
No, my eyes are tired.
Yeah, you
Oh,
don't need
okay.
to spend $300 million on a blockbuster anymore. You don't. And you don't need big stars for a successful film because this thing had a minuscule budget and made tons of money and won Oscars. So
Yeah.
it's fantastic. Go see it.
Yeah, I should
Yeah.
watch that one.
Have patience with it too, because I was watching going, all right, let's see where this goes. But then you're like, oh, I totally get it. And I wish I'd saw it in the theater, but I didn't.
Well, both my prof and I have very long attention spans.
Oh, good. But if you're into character-driven films, and you understand that this is a monster movie, you're not going to see you're not going to see the real monster until about halfway through, like Jurassic Park,
Okay,
like
so-
Jaws.
Well,
then this is it.
That's both Professor Geek and me. We love our sci-fi, but we love our sci-fi with the human element.
Yeah, that's in this.
Deeply personal element.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. It's so good. It is so good. I want to see it again
That's good.
now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I should. We should.
Oh, and the
plans
score.
on watching it.
Holy crying out loud. Naoki Sato. Check out his work. This guy's an amazing composer. The development of this score. Listen to the development of this score, where it goes, where it starts, and then where it ends. You'll appreciate it.
That's
I
good.
think you will appreciate it.
And you can listen to it on its own.
Yeah, and that's the
That's
thing. When I heard it first before seeing the film, and I had my own visuals in my head, but there's a story. Skip the Ifukube needle drops of the Godzilla theme on the album because they kind of get in the way of the tone.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So they play 3 times in the film. The first time you hear it doesn't really work. The second time you hear it, it does work, and then the third time you hear it, it's amazing to hear this theme. But it kind of screws with the tone of what Sato was doing. So if you take that out of the soundtrack, it's amazing. It's just amazing. It's such a great score. It was my favorite last year, so it's so good. And I love Sato's music. I've always loved his stuff. So yeah, go see it. It's great.
Yeah, Professor Geek's planning on watching it. We don't really go to the theaters.
All right. It's on hold. It should be on. Oh well, Amazon Prime Japan, I think right now has it. So
okay. We have Prime, so if it releases,
if you can somehow get onto the Japanese site, then get it. I don't know whether it has subs, but my friend has Plex, so I was able to get it off his Plex, and he has it downloaded. So but it's great. But when it comes out, see it. It's like it was out of theaters. It's been out of theaters for a long time. But anyway, I don't want to keep you guys any much longer. But this is great. Great talking.
Yeah,
to you
it was
both
good.
again.
It's been a
We
long
should do it
time,
again.
Daniel.
Yeah. We should definitely do it again. We should just have a stream, all 3 of us together. And I enjoy these conversations.
Y'all tell me when.
I do have you know me, I have my strong opinions about music.
I love them.
That's fine. And I listened to both tracks for Dune. I'm like, it's just not.
Even that first track?
No.
That's too bad.
It's like a slowed down version of a track on the second Gladiator soundtrack.
Well, yeah, it's very much in the. I think Elizabeth Scott is not Elizabeth Scott. Who's Gladiator? Who's the Gladiator co-composer?
Lisa Gerrard.
That's it. I think it's Lisa Gerrard, or it may be Elizabeth Scott who's doing the voice. I can't remember. Anyway, if you didn't like the first one, you're not gonna like the second one.
Yeah, it's like
I love the first one, and I enjoyed it.
You were raving about Dune and I was just like,
yeah. I listened to that thing for 2 weeks straight.
I couldn't get minutes into. I'm like, I'm gonna stab my eardrums.
But
I talked about Dune at one point on my stream, and then the next day, YouTube just littered my feed with all sorts of Dune 2 covers. And then some teachers and students at the store I work at are playing Dune. I'm like, Dune, man, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just gotta say one thing. You know what I love about the little soundtrack geek community that we have going? We can disagree with each other. We're still besties.
Oh
And
yeah.
Still have a good time.
I will listen to Dune forever.
I can't
I will
stand it.
enjoy it.
I was just stab me in the throat. But hey, we're still friends.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not
I'll-
for
I'll be
everybody.
the-
And I'm
the-
surprised it's for me. I really am. But I saw the film, I saw Dune, and I heard the music in context first. It really made
And
it.
that's true. And that can make a difference.
Yeah. If
And I
heard that
remember
album
when Dune
before,
came
I
out,
would've-
like what, 84, 85?
Yeah.
And I tried to watch it, and I granted I was probably too young. I was just like, this ain't Star Wars. This ain't Star Trek. This is boring.
Oh,
Dune's
no.
wackadoodle crazy. It's unfinished. There's no way you can tell this entire story within a 2-hour time frame. And especially with 84 special effects, it was too much. Villeneuve picked the right time to make it. And
Dune, I think Dune would have been a good animated movie.
oh yeah, it would. But I'm surprised at how, like, the whole sequence with Paul riding the worm for the first time is one of the greatest cinematic experiences I've ever seen, because it's another one of those wow moments where it's like, this is all done on a computer, but it just feels so real. And it's just the way they filmed it, the way they edited it. And yeah, you just have all the feels watching it. But I've seen what they did in this film, special effects wise. It's probably one of the most impressive modern blockbusters I think I've seen. But I feel that they took great care to make it seem like this was all filmed in camera. It's the way the camera moves. So you know how sometimes you can, like, especially with like Lord of the Rings, it's impressive films that they are, but the camera doesn't move naturally in some shots. It just feels like it's an unnatural camera move. It would never move that fast. So you're like, okay, that takes me right out of it, because I know that that's not real, and your brain just will pick up on that. There's shots.
Are you talking about the shots where you dive into Isengard?
Yeah, there's a shot from in Two Towers, and what's his name? Saruman.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's a close up of him, and then it pulls back and then shows the whole entire army, and this camera's moving way too fast for that. It would never be a shot. You do it on like a drone now, but it still feels unnatural.
Yeah.
All the camera moves feel like it's a natural camera move. So there's a great shot when Paul walks out onto Arrakis for the very first time, and they rack focus from him to the giant ships that are transporting them to the planet. And you're like, oh my God, they just did a simple rack focus, but everything looks massive and huge and looks like it's all there. Like these huge ships, they're just massive, but it's the way they film it. Instead of doing these sweeping, dolly shots and whatever, it was just a very simple rack focus that just the depth was there. And then you felt that these things were actually there. And but it's super impressive. But they filmed in Jordan and where else were they? They filmed in Italy, Abu Dhabi. So they were on location. But it just feels like they took great care to make you as immersed into that universe, and nothing felt like it was off at all. Everything felt real. And
That's
so
good.
that's a hard thing to do in this day and age of like Marvel films, where it's all kind of overdone and overblown.
Yeah.
And your brain, you can just tell your brain's like, that doesn't seem right. That's off, or the uncanny valley. There was none of that in this. None of that in the Dune movies.
That's good.
But then again, have you seen them?
I have not watched them.
Okay.
I have a very specific picture in my head for Dune.
Sure. So like, I've never read the books, so I didn't have that baggage with me going into the film. So I just took them as movies. And I knew the stories. Again, I watched the original Dune, and I think I saw Children of Dune on TV, and I had an idea of what it was. And my expectations were incredibly low, although Denis Villeneuve is an incredible filmmaker. I didn't expect to see what I saw. And
that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess, again, you might just have to kind of turn your brain off from your from your book and what you are used to seeing, and just maybe go see it as a film and as its own standalone movie. I don't know, but I think it needs to be experienced. I really do think they're an incredible achievement in filmmaking. I honestly do, especially when it comes down to big blockbuster movies. This is one again. Like with Godzilla, all the money's on screen. It's on there. It's there. And the acting is, holy smokes. What's her name? Rebecca Ferguson. Outstanding as Paul's mom. She is amazing in the first movie, especially. Unbelievable. Unbelievably. I thought she would get an Oscar nomination for sure. But anyway,
I'm definitely seeing Godzilla -1.
Yeah, Godzilla is awesome. You'll have a great time with it. It's so good.
Al says so too. He says he has a version. And he says Toto version rules. I need to listen to Toto.
Oh, that score is great. It is.
I need to listen to that score.
It's fantastic. Anyway, I'm losing my voice.
I know. I gotta go see how my husband's doing.
All right.
Well, everyone, thank you for coming by. As always, adopt, don't shop, keep listening to great film scores. I'm going to Utah for Jane Eyre and the Action Scores. Cannot be happier. Erik, you still owe me a Star Wars show sometime this month.
A Star Wars show.
We're going to talk about the Phantom Menace.
Oh my God, yes. Let's do it. Let's work on it.
Just tell me when. I will sort it out on my end.
We should do it like on a Friday night. It just seems like the most logical time to do these things.
I can't do it this Friday night, but I can do it the following Friday night.
Okay, let's try that then.
Okay.
Yeah.
A week.
Is that gonna be, which channel is that going to be on so I can watch if
The on the Birdman channel.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was yours or Eric's channel.
No, and we're gonna do it all three.
Oh, I'm not available. I teach.
Oh.
Sorry, I teach into the night.
Well, we'll find a day or time, like whether it was Saturday or Sunday works or whatever. I don't mind. I know
you guys could do. I unfortunately I love streaming with you guys, but I'm pretty booked as far as streaming. But these concerts are amazing. So if you have like a Christmas show coming or something in the fall for Halloween or something, cool. I'm there.
They're streaming the John Williams Steven Spielberg concert next year, so I already got us down for that.
Oh, cool. Okay, good.
That'll be fun.
I'll be around.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about all three movies.
Well, we can, but I thought we just put Phantom Menace 25th anniversary.
Okay, yeah, let's just talk.
God, it's really been 25 years, but anyway,
let's go. Now they're really forcing me to watch it again.
2 weeks from yesterday, so 13 days.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Everyone, thanks for coming by. Thank you, Erik. Thank you, Sound Engraver. Thank you, Starwinkle. We'll be back a week from Friday for Phantom Menace discussion. Erik Woods. And maybe someone else.
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see what we can do. All right. Y'all take care, everybody.